Hello, everyone. We're here now. This is a lot of people. It looks like there are 89 people watching already, even though we haven't started. That's wild. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Saw someone in chat say, I really hope they talk about their workflow for this. Of course we will, and we're also happy to answer any non-spoiler questions you might have for us.
Yeah, workflow questions are some of the only things I know how to talk about.
Without spoiling things.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing a lot
hi.
of first-time viewers
Spider.
here.
Hello.
Yeah, hi Spider. Seeing a lot of first-time viewers here. Very exciting to have you all. Yeah, so this is...
Oh, and Bugs is here too.
Oh my god.
2 of them.
Like, look, you can ask a bunch of spoilery questions and you'll get one of 2 responses. One is you won't get a response, and we will ignore you. Oh, by the way, thank you, Starvin' a Woo, for the Prime sub.
Oh,
Thank you, Skull Wolfkirk, for subbing. Yeah. We'll either ignore you, or we will call you out on trying to weasel little spoilers out of us. Or I suppose there's the third option, which is we will lie and give you incorrect information.
Oh, not the accidental, I spoiled the game for you.
I mean...
I promise I won't. I promise.
And we will not be answering that question, Heather.
You cannot know. Thrown in the pit.
Thrown in a pit.
Oh, I think all of them would like pineapple on pizza.
Really?
If you like it, and are like, this is good, she'd be like, you're so right. Unless she just wants to eat you up.
I feel like that's a Stranger thing.
Oh,
pineapple on pizza is for freaks.
How dare you? I like it.
Do you?
Yeah. Though I think I liked
Pineapple's
it more
so
when
acidic.
because it does go well with something. Oh yeah, you just don't like pineapple. So we got a
Scarbo
pineapple hater in the room.
MW, thank you for the Prime sub and the follow. Your local support waffle, thank you for the follow. If I happen to miss anyone's follows, I apologize. It is not intentionally ignoring you. There's just a lot of notifications going on, and we are honestly still physically recovering from PAX, which was a lovely experience,
Thank
but
you for liking the stranger.
brutal.
She's weird. We had a question. What's the hardest princess to write for? The hardest princess to draw so far is the stranger.
Yeah, because we haven't settled on something yet.
We need to work it out, but we're getting there. We're so close. I'm gonna unfollow again to foster that parasocial relationship.
I think probably the witch is on the harder side to write for because she has a little bit of a rhythm to the way she speaks. She's very storybooky. It's fun though.
Wow, PAX got us a 10% increase in Discord membership in a 2-week period? Wow. Oh, what made us want to create this story? Well, it was kind of an experiment to see how quickly we could make something that was good.
I'll give the very honest answer to our viewers. It was it started with how do we continue to fund Scarlet Hollow without signing with a publisher in a way that doesn't really disrupt our workflow too much. So, looking at what is a more limited scope project we could take on that I could just do the writing and coding for in time that I would otherwise spend marketing or doing business development.
Yeah, Brawlatron has it. It was a pseudo game jam type thing. So all of the art was made in a week for the first demo.
Yeah. It started with, what if there's a simple premise, one location, one visible character. I think that came off the back of some episode 3 stuff in Scarlet Hollow, like when you're doing the ghost hunt, and everyone is in Oscar's house, and you can have up to 9 characters there, and something that we do with the characters. Oh my god, Wahoo! Thank you for gifting all these subs. Also, thank you for all of the amazing fan art you constantly shower both of our games with.
Oh, it's wonderful.
So, like, one of the things we do in Scarlet Hollow is neither Abby or I are particularly fond of the thing a lot of visual novels do, which is a very understandable thing, but it's like all of the characters are just sort of at the same distance from the screen, all facing the same direction. So we like it that when someone speaks in a room, not only is everyone on, like, a different layer of the background and interacting with the environment, but, like, if someone talks, then people's eyes drift to the person who's talking. If they hear something that elicits an emotional response, they will react physically. Which means in a scene where you can have up to 9 characters, every line of dialogue is, well, I have to move all 9 of these characters.
And of course I had to
And I
draw
hated that.
full sprite sets for all of them in different locations. Like in Oscar's house, there are 2 different rooms, and I couldn't just like reuse sprite sets between them because the rooms were different. So, and I had to make sure that everyone could be visible, and that even if you don't have everybody, the layout still makes sense.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like there's big gaps where people are missing.
Y'all are so nice. Thank you.
Yeah, so like that,
Everyone's
those
so
2
nice.
scenes are, I would say, you could roughly say a given episode of Scarlet Hollow is like 2 hours long. And those 2 scenes were like maybe 10 minutes of those 2 hours. Everyone in Oscar's living room and everyone in Rosalina's room. And it probably took me like 30% of the coding time for that episode to just move all of the sprites.
So then after that, Tony was like, I want to work on something easier in the between time when I was doing the first draft
something
of
fast.
episode 4.
Are you planning to add more initial routes into Slay the Princess, or is 11 the final count for it? 11 is the final count. 6 was originally going to be the final count, and as we finally had time to start working on it again, something that we kept getting stuck on was that a lot of the princesses just, like, did not feel like they adequately represented the player's choices, right? Like, the damsel originally was just what you would get if you tried to rescue her regardless, but whether or not you take the knife down with you has a very, very different flavor and tone to the reactions, the interaction. So it's like, well, this needs to be split into 2 routes.
Also, yes, I missed that question, but yeah, they're made in Ren'Py, so that's
Yes.
what we do. And then placing the sprites, so sometimes Tony will move them around, like manually, basically, but I mostly just kind of, the sprites are actually the full size of the background, and I place them over the background and make sure that, like, the transparency around them means that they'll be in the right spot.
So I know a lot of games to save on file size.
That's so nice.
They just they'll like really crop the sprites, but all of our sprites for Scarlet Hollow are 1080p, so they just go exactly in the middle of the screen, without like having to position them around. It adds like a little bit of file size. The earlier Slay the Princess days, when everything was pre-rendered animations instead of shaders, it added some performance issues, but it's just so much better for the workflow. The looks like the image in the main menu flickers a little. How do you do that? So we have flickering. For flickering, do you mean when the sprite of the princess flickers? Do you mean the like static transition, or do you mean like this sort of boil effect? Because those are all different things. Corsair, we're going to just ignore that anger and hope it goes away.
That'll be the thing that ends us. I really liked the Muppet design, but I think I definitely felt the same way as other people, where it's like, she's very cute. In fact, she's too cute. But I do want to kind of like mix the 2 designs that we have, the stranger that's in the demo right now and the like Muppety one.
Yeah.
I think that
that's
combo is gonna be the
because
one.
she should be scary. Hold on. Oh my god, there are so many. Okay, hold on. Is the boil effect a filter, or do you have 3 to 4 times the same image?
When
Neither.
Tony...
So, the initial version of the boil effect, which is still what you're seeing on the main menu because it needed to be like a specific length looping cutscene to get the little jump scare synced to the music, that is pre-rendered in After Effects. There are some helpful YouTube guides that you can find online to do that, so that's just a video file. In the game itself, we originally pre-rendered things because I'm an idiot, and that caused some major performance issues. People made fun of me in the Steam forums. But then we hired someone to write a shader for us that offloads sort of that movement to the GPU.
Yeah, and it just made everything come to life. And that's great, because when Tony first said, it's okay, we'll just make it kind of animated, you can just trace and draw all of them multiple times, right? Because I did that for Charlie in the Ghost Hunt, where he's drawn 3 or 4 times each. I think there are a couple other moments where that's done for things in the background to make them feel like more hand-drawn, which they already are. But then when Tony was like, we could do that for this full game, right? I just sat in silence for like 15 minutes feeling like,
and then I found another
utter
solution.
Devastation. I was like,
well,
I don't think I could do that.
I gotta ask the questions.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so the Manly Badass video, we sent him the alpha build.
Sorry, the game will cost, we're not quite sure if it's going to be 15 or 20, but around there probably.
Yeah, it will either be 15 USD or 20 USD with regional pricing, roughly along Steam's current guidelines for regional pricing. It's every day I change my mind about whether it'll be 15 or 20. It definitely feels like the price bar has been going up for narrative indie games. I kind of like the idea of it being 15, but then there's questions about like, well, if we're looking at, really making sure this funds all of the future games our studio develops up front, then, do we min-max it?
Yay.
No, both are reasonable prices.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty big game, so.
Also, I'm just gonna hit start. We'll probably just be stopped on menus talking all the time, but I want it to look like we're doing things.
Look, guys,
as more
we
people
got Princess
come in.
and Chat over here.
Also,
yeah, we have both Brandon and Nicole with us here today.
Several shout outs. I'll wait until Johnny stops talking, and then I'll thank everyone who's been doing stuff for us.
Cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Noob Artist 600, thank you for the follow. Kari Kaiju, thank you for the bits. Chickens are the best 123, thank you for the follow. Unicorn Now, thank you for the sub. Kari Kaiju, thanks for the bits again. Kaylee 101, thank you for the bits. Neither Noir, thank you for the follow. Kaylee 101, thank you for the follow. Pastel Rhythms, thank you for the follow. And then we're back at Wahoo gifting subs, so we're caught up. Okay, well, folks see, Nicole, thank you. Nicole, why are you giving us bits? We pay you. Anyways, well, glad to see that folks think that 20 is a reasonable price point, and Nicole gifting subs too. Nicole, you don't gotta do that. I'm gonna click. Go.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Wow, he's so good. Also, thank you so much to everybody who's here who stopped by at PAX and who wandered by at PAX, not wanting to get spoiled.
It was fun meeting Scarlet Hollow fans in the wild. It
always
throws us off guard because we've only worked on it
during the pandemic,
during
so
the
it's
pandemic,
basically our first time interacting with fans, so it's very fun.
Person, yeah.
Lots of people asking us spoiler questions, and I'm like, I am in person, and
I'm
my
so
face
tired.
is probably giving it away.
Yeah. At least we had masks on, so
yeah, they couldn't see my little
hide
smirk.
our faces.
Oh, thank you.
Will stream be a weekly or monthly thing going forward? It's gonna be a once in a blue moon thing.
Yeah. I wouldn't hate doing an art stream in not too long. Like,
Yeah,
something.
yeah. I mean, look, we've gotten a wild amount of Patreon support lately, so maybe that's a way to give back to those
Yeah,
supporters.
People have been so nice.
It will definitely not be a weekly thing. Yeah, for the most part, like, we very much like streaming. It also, it is work, and we can also spend that time making the game.
Also, someone asked if we're going to go to other conventions. Borneo, Watercat. I am not sure.
I don't think
so.
we
Yeah,
are
we're not
this
planning
year.
any for now because we definitely want to be able to finish the game.
We might after the
But later this
game.
year. Oh yeah, the last one, the last stream we did was 14 hours.
Yeah, it killed
Shout
me too.
out to Nicole and Brandon and Sophie for being there for so long. I couldn't believe that everybody stuck with us.
Yeah, and like something that's very much the case for us right now is we want to make sure that we are not letting Slay the Princess's development derail Scarlet Hollow's development. We are writing both episode 5 and the rest of Slay the Princess at the same time right now. But, you know, like PAX we were there for 5 days, but you know, it was like a couple weeks of work preparing for it. It's gonna be at least a week. I mean, it's already been a week of recovery time.
We should aim for 15 hours this time. Aw, thanks, Spider. How did y'all manage to make 2 banger super popular games at once? Guess we're just so good, I guess. I honestly have no idea. I'm just so grateful that everybody feels that way.
Ban.
I don't know. That sounds like
I-
a pretty good
How
offer,
do I
Tony.
ban?
Dogehype.com? Wow.
Wait. Uh-huh.
Oh, W0 asks, is the I Want to Yeah shirt a reference to something? Yeah, it was a
Jackbox thing from
Jackbox,
TKO.
one of the TKO
Thought it was
shirts.
very funny.
I drew the little...
I ordered us those shirts from it, and then we put it in the game.
That's the story. We met one of a Jackbox person at PAX. Did we tell her that story?
No, we did not.
We're fools.
I mean, it's
It
so
just
it's
didn't
so
come
hard
up.
to think of things to say to people in that context.
All right, we have to play the game now, or this will be a 15-hour stream. To enter the world? No.
Oh, thank you so much for the bits, 5 ways.
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds.
Why am I getting a 2-minute ad for
Perhaps
Apex
most
Legends? That's a great
problematically of all,
question.
No more people. You have to put an end to her.
I guess you have to ask Twitch about that one. Oh, thank you,
Keymaster
Keymaster Tommy.
Bird up.
DiscoWolf.tv, thank you for the bits too.
All right. If you don't tell me why she's dangerous, I'm not gonna kill her. So
All right.
She's not dangerous. She's just a princess. The danger comes if she gets out. Which she will, unless you do something about it.
Let's see. Of course, at this point, especially after PAX, I'm like, I know every word of this
Oh,
game.
okay. Thanks for telling me what to do. Oh, yeah, and
I love
I
that
had to
one.
edit all the voice files for this, so.
It's all part of the job.
Ah, thank you. Thank you, Bugs.
Bugs, that's so nice. Need to say I've been obsessed since you guys posted that
Make
graph
your
on
way
how
up
decisions
short
made in game
path
affects the
can.
ways characters perceive you.
You'll find the princess.
Oh man, yeah, we have that's a big ol'. The relationship system with Scarlet Hollow is wild.
A warning. before
Good job,
you go
Tony.
any further.
I like making intricate contraptions that drive people mad.
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word.
Does
she
the
says.
narrator get dental benefits out of this job? Yeah, but it's one of those situations where, like, even when you think about, like, the percentage of the premium the employer covers, it's like, oh man, if I take good care of my teeth and I don't have any emergencies, it's better to pay out of pocket for a cleaning twice a year.
We're
Well,
not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Okay. I trust the narrator. He seems nice.
Which princess is the best gamer?
Adversary?
Yeah. Well, okay. The adversary is probably the most technically skilled, but she gets tilted too easily.
Yeah, she's broken.
She
15
BMs
controllers or
in League of
Only
Legends.
furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
Chapter 2, the gamer.
I think the
She's just
prisoner is
sitting in the
probably the best
basement.
gamer.
With her Mountain Dew. And she's like, hold on, I'll get to it right after this match. And then it's 5 hours later, she finally turns around and is like, what did you want?
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
The deer in the corner. Oh, that deer. Well, if you're in Scarlet Hollow world, yes.
Yeah.
The
The
Lumpy Prince.
backdrop for our stream. We did a guest stream with a local library ages ago, and they made this amazing, beautiful, intricate setup, and then gave it to us, and it's like, great. We never have to make something like this ever again.
It's beautiful and perfect.
Blade? No Blade.
Blade. Let's just do what he says. I like that
Okay.
one. Yeah.
You take the blade from the table.
The guy said we should do
It'd
it,
be rather
so
difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
do it. Right? Libraries are great. They do such nice things,
Door
like
to
give
the
us a
basement
streaming
creaks open,
layout.
revealing a staircase.
Support
faintly
your local
illuminated
library.
by unseen light
Yeah.
from below.
Libraries are
This is an
based.
oppressive place. The air feels
What's a
heavy and damp.
library?
A hint
It's
of
like-
filtering
It's
from the
like
ocean.
Netflix for books.
If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
I
Her
love that
voice
he says that
carries
line
up the stairs.
every time.
Who is the best Slay the Princess girl and why is it night? I see Nicole's chat. It has leaked into ours.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Oh man.
Don't let it fool you.
Sometimes.
It's all
So
part
when
of it.
Manly Badass Hero does his videos, he DMs me things like throughout the thing, and when he got to this part, he sent a message that was just like, "Is it just me, or is she more? I don't know the right word. Sultry than she used to be."
Yes. To answer, yes, she is. Oh yeah, you can. Well, we'll get there.
Oh, the knife thing.
Continue down the stairs.
Yeah,
No
just-
talk.
You're still listening to reason.
Yeah, I want the approval of the narrator. He's my dad now.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist.
Yeah, we want.
binding her.
We actually had the hold the knife icon for the first demo,
She's
but
coldly
it
beautiful.
was such a rush to get it out
really
that I
affected
didn't have
me.
enough time to figure out how to actually get it implemented.
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Yes.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Do not say that the narrator is the dad. The Discord will begin narrator father theories. Oh no, what have I done?
People in the server are dying to know, bird
Oh,
or no?
talking
And if
nice.
so, and it's not a spoiler, how'd you choose
What
the
even
character
makes you
design?
think you can kill me?
The design of the protagonist has yet to be revealed. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it.
Don't you dare try to lead me down a dark path, Brawlatron. Are you sure she doesn't have a knife?
So,
Where's the second
you should
shackle?
just
Oh, I
drop
wonder.
it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
Do you hear the conviction in her voice? Do you see the razor sharpness in her gaze? I don't think she's bluffing. She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
I'm
You
doing
lunge
it.
forward without a moment's hesitation.
Yeah, I feel, thank you, Wahoo, for saying I love all the new dialogue / voices. I feel, oh, goodbye, Kaylee.
You
Yeah, I
feel
feel
fresh
like the
easy
dialogue and
give
voices
way
now, they
and look
just
down to
feel
see your blade already
Everything in its right
sinking
place.
everything in its place.
Oh yeah, and for folks who
Yeah.
are not able to stick around for the whole thing, we will be uploading the
This is
VOD
it,
to YouTube.
Isn't it? I'm almost embarrassed.
I'm sorry that I always jiggle
I
it.
should have seen that coming.
I can't not do
But I
it.
have
That's,
to
I think, my
wonder,
favorite thing, watching people play in
do
person.
you
Just, like,
actually believe
when they
this
move the
was
mouse
enough to
around
kill
waiting
me?
for a line to finish. And it's like, yes, you like this too. Good.
Aw, Bugs, thank you. The descriptive language is so effective. Thank you.
There it is again. That razor-sharp look in her eyes and the terrifying conviction in her words. Yes, even as she lays there dying, she entirely
Does the
believes
princess have a
herself
sternum?
to be alive and
Scientists
well.
have yet to determine this.
But it's over.
I think there's evidence that she does
She stopped
in the
breathing
demo.
months ago.
You did draw
Her
a skeleton.
still
Oh,
passed.
Well, what if it's just because you imagine it?
Shake my head. Devs are murderers.
But is it over? Really over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Why wouldn't it be
It's
over?
over.
I don't understand the question.
With your work done, you
Yay,
make your way
we
back
did
up the
it.
stairs, closing the door to the basement behind you.
Yeah, great stream.
Why do I feel like
Quick
we've
game,
done
really.
something terrible? You did kill someone. Greater good or not, something would be very wrong with you if you didn't feel at least a little bad. But it was for the greater good. One of these days that will sink in and help ease your guilty conscience. But that day isn't today. Let's just get out of here.
Dressed in princess.
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only, a world saved from certain doom
Looks soft out
isn't
there.
what you find.
Looks
Instead,
nice.
Yeah.
what you find is nothing at all.
Rippin'
Where
spaghetti.
a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of space. What happened?
You can definitely overanalyze that the space void is gone now. Up to you.
Everyone is fine. It's just that you and the cabin are now far away from them.
God, there's a couple people who speed ran
You'll be safe.
episode 4
This is
and
good.
went straight to Sybil's and
Everyone
stayed
is
in the
happy.
basement and then were tweeting
You'll
about
be
how episode 4 was so disappointingly short. And it's like, well, you skipped
You skipped
80%
the
of the content.
Yeah, and I'm just like, well, you you could always have done the many things we gave you to do, possibly, if you want.
This is part of the reason that prior to episode 4, we didn't really include skip the main plot options because, like, in
Yeah, like, as it turns
in the
out.
fringe instances
don't
where
like it.
people take them, it's just like, oh, this is disappointing.
Yeah, a lot of people were just like, I want a choice to not go into the woods with Stella, and it's like, well,
Okay.
I don't know if you do. We're like tooling around with an idea for just like a skip everything thing when the entire game
And we
is
have
done.
some very cool ideas for a skip the woods with Stella thing for
But it would have
a
to
patch at
be
some point.
after you've played the whole game, because otherwise you'll go in and just be like, this sucks.
Yeah.
This
We
is
now
a-
have data that shows
In
if
fact,
people have a
now
choice
that
to
the
skip
princess
stuff,
has
they
been
just think it
slain,
sucks.
endings are
Yeah, like that might be a new game plus option or something.
Right?
the
Who wouldn't
beginning
want to go to
of
the woods with
eternity.
Stella? Except
Your
for
rule.
if you try to push back at her at all, she's like, no, you're coming with me. And some people don't like that. I wanted Stella to like me so bad.
This is what's best for everyone.
I
Trust
do remember when episode 1 first came out, and a lot of
Passes.
streamers were playing it.
You can't be
They
sure
would like
if
get
it's
to that
days
part in the
or
diner and be like,
months
"Oh wow, that's
or
amazing! We
years or
cannot
even
go into the
decades.
woods." Well, I'm going into the woods, and it's like no one ever clicked it. And then at the end, they'd be like,
You've
"There's
never
so
been
much,
happier.
there's so much incredible branching here," and it's like, part of the reason, yeah, there isn't that alternative branch is something like 99% of players are just going to click go to the woods. You have to be cautious about not making content that takes like half
We're not
your
just gonna
time,
stay
but
here
then is
forever,
only seen
right?
by like 1% of people.
Yeah, eternity is a punishment, not a reward. Except for this guy keeps saying that actually it's great, so I don't know. That's very compelling, him saying that I'm very happy right now.
Oh,
New
sorry. So
artist
someone
asked.
requesting to not share many Scarlet Hollow spoilers because
Oh,
they
sure.
haven't played yet. We shall do that.
So also, I'll answer this one.
Yep.
Noob artist. How much extra work would making an entirely different route without Stella
Months.
work? It would. Yeah, it would be like.
It would
really-
be. It would.
I'd have to do
for
a
the
bunch
whole
of new assets for it.
the whole game. It would probably be like 1 to 2 episodes worth of extra content.
Yeah, let's get
I
out of
do.
here.
But you're probably not going to like it. The blade. We
Thank
can use the
you,
blow to carry out
your
of
Asthma
this.
Fantasy, for the
I can
bits.
hear everything
you.
you say, little voice. There's only one thing I
Discord
would want
question:
you
Do
to
you have a
use that
plan yet
blade
on how many chapters
And I'm afraid
there'll
that thing
be
is
in the
you,
full version?
hero.
We really can't comment on the full structure of
He's
the
right.
rest of this game.
It's the only way out.
That gets into spoiler territory. It will. I want to say that
Do you hear
the
that?
current
It
demo.
wants to take this happiness away from you. It
It's
wants
probably
this
not even a
wonderful
third of the
place
content for the full
to
game,
end.
right? There's going to be a lot.
Do you not? There's more for us to do, and the only way for us to do it is to take
Every
that
princess
blade
slash
and
voice was
use
playing
it.
Mario Kart who would pick Waluigi
you
for, like,
dare.
obviously the contrarian.
Alright.
Thank you.
Me, I'm doing it.
I made this happy little place.
I
for
know
you.
that
Is
verbiage
this not
is
a good
very
enough reward
interesting.
for saving the
I
world
love giving
and
y'all just
eternity
enough
of
to
bliss?
drive yourselves insane.
Ingrate.
Are there any other ideas for other
Fine.
princess types like
Whatever.
Beast Tower,
For the
etc.,
first
that
time
didn't
since
make
time
the
stopped
cut?
meaning anything,
Well, yesterday
Throw her
we
to the
were
door to the basement and walk
came
down
up
the
with one that would
stairs.
be fun, but I don't think she's gonna make it.
Yeah.
There's just nowhere to put new princesses now.
The princess's
I
body
simply
is
wonder
dust
what
and
we're going to
bones,
do.
and the blade
See, she
used
has
to
a
slay
sternum.
her is still as pristine as the
I
I
don't
guess
see
you
a
can't see
sternum.
from that specific angle.
Yeah, it could not exist.
You pick up the blade, you stab yourself, and you die.
Hands. Boop. I do that.
Blackwell masked.
Nice no.
I
Bye, Borneo
think
Buttercat. Have a good
a
day.
challenge with our games is that there tends to be so much complexity with little ways the branching can
And
change
at the end of
that
is a
making a chart
And
would
in the
be
basement of
a
that
fool's errand.
is a princess.
There will be Corsair. Thank you for
Corsair,
gifting
thank you.
20 subs. Holy
So
shit.
nice.
What was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, like there'll probably be a post playthrough stats chart for you,
Bye, Corsair.
but an
Thanks for
actual
being
map would be insane.
here. Map for this one or say the princess? Or sorry, or Scarlet Hollow. Both our games start with S. What were we thinking?
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end.
I think a
of the
chart for this
world.
one would definitely be very interesting eventually. Scarlet the princess.
Yeah, well, we'll think about it. I also, here's a thing about charts. I know a lot of people are completionists. As a game designer, I very much like to remove things that drive people to metagame. Right, so it's like in Scarlet Hollow, we have a very complex relationship system, and none of the underlying math is visible to players. Because we want it to feel organic, and we want people to make decisions based on how they feel in the moment, and it's like the second you make any of that
If he doesn't remember what happened,
visible, or you
then
provide
it's
like a means of directly exploring it, it permanently changes the way people interact with the game.
Oh yeah, achievements are kind of a good way to keep track of it. Wow, the playing with the background, this is like a fidget toy. I love
It
it.
really is.
That's fine. It wasn't very hard to kill her last time. We'll just do it again.
Love this dude.
Yeah,
Voice
achievements
actor
are a
calls.
really, really good middle ground. The
Hi,
only
Velvet Wear, welcome.
the super annoying thing with achievements, though, is that Ren'Py, our engine, like, it has Steam achievement functionality, but it doesn't have achievement functionality for other platforms like GOG
Well, if
or
for
itch.
whatever reason you're
So we might also do something where we build out, like,
your heart's in the
a
right
mechanism to get achievements within the game itself, so you can still use it as a guide.
I'm just gonna go on ahead.
Sure.
A warning before you go any further.
We have only gotten
She
to
will
one
lie.
chapter 2.
She will cheat.
Last time
She
we did
will
what the
do
narrator
everything
said.
in
He
her
said that we
power
should
to
kill her,
stop
so
you
we
from
just
slaying
went ahead and
her.
did that.
Don't believe a word she says.
Yeah, and if we do a map, it would probably be like a post-release patch or something like that, because again, that's something that would slow down development time dramatically.
Pew, 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 pew.
I love that from a dev perspective. I am just an annoying gamer. Inside me are two wolves. I'd be very curious to see how people feel about wanting a map for this one when the full game is done. We've played very little so far, Velvet. This is our first route. We've mostly just been chatting and answering questions.
And interrupting Johnny constantly. Sorry to Johnny and Nicole, we keep interrupting your beautiful voices.
Furniture of note is an elegant antique table with a pristine blade perched on the edge.
First route is murder.
Average cabin in Ohio.
The blade is your implement.
It's one of the 100% lore hunty boys. I'm not sure if I'd want a map. Maybe write one myself. Yeah, oh, and if we were to do a map, there would be so many, like, little things that we would only be able to contain the major beats anyways.
Like I've been saying, she's dead. We killed her already.
Oh yeah, the unique. Thank you for saying that you like the unique cabins. I had to draw 30 backgrounds for chapter 2 because it's not like I could just edit a pre-existing background. It had to be like fully redrawn. So
we don't have stats on which chapter 2 people get first. We'll probably be putting out a survey at some point in the next week.
What's all this then?
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here.
Yeah, Abby had to draw like 30 different versions of the same 3 backgrounds for this. Brandon had to do 10 different versions of the same song for this.
Ika Kira Madoka, what was your reaction to the reception Princess got from the players?
Satisfaction.
Yeah, slack-jawed awe is mine of just like, what? People enjoyed this much? It's really wonderful. Boop. I will do that.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
There's a funny comment somebody made about like, why is it a furry? I know human hands are hard to draw, but it seems weird to make this choice. And I'm like, this is a human hand.
It's a human hand.
I still had to draw the hand part. I'm very good at that though. I love drawing hands. Not to toot my own horn, but I will.
Yeah, we refused to.
Oh, thanks, Barlatron.
We refuse to half-ass anything as developers.
Except for the close-ups of the mirror, where I did not draw a new background.
No. I think that looks good.
It kind of makes it seem like the room itself is actually just drawn in pencil. Instead of
we made these games with monster fuckers in mind. Wayne was a day one romance option for Scarlet Hollow.
Absolutely. Oh, and as was Reese, of course.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm so bad at this.
Yeah, Jesus, Abby. We have so many Tom Hollands on this team.
Difficult to slay the princess and save
there's 2 developers. Abby and I are the only 2 full-time people working on our games. I do almost all of the coding. Abby now is writing, script and dialogue directly in Engine, which is going to save us a lot of time for episode 5. It was previously she would write, a draft, and then I would make my additions and edits and changes and add new stuff while moving that into RenPy.
Megadeath 1000, it is always valid to want to bang any princess, especially stranger. All of them. She's so nice. Also, Wahoo, I also love the artist interpretations of the main character and voices. That is so cool to see.
Is silent.
Everyone is so good at it.
Naturally. As much as I appreciate
the demo is playable on Steam Deck. While we were at PAX, one of our stations actually was a Steam Deck connected to a keyboard, mouse, and monitor.
And it worked really well.
It worked great.
As you descend the final step,
we're thinking like late summer, early fall for the release, like before Halloween. For
it will be out before Halloween.
Yeah.
It would be quite bad if it was not.
Well, looks like she's still dead.
Okay.
I think we did a good job.
Dead.
Yeah.
It's just
Bones proof. The voices in this demo is
proof.
Jonathan Sims from the Magnus Archives as the narrator and all the other voices in your head, and
I
it's
still don't
Nicole
see.
Goodnight who I believe is still in chat as the princess.
Before you have a chance to finish your
Hello.
thought, the top of a head appears from underneath the floor. 2 deep-set eyes stare up at you, followed by a mischievous skeletal grin.
Watching people almost get the specter was... I think we had to kind of, on the last day, push someone to, at PAX, actually follow through with the rest of the specter route, because it's so easy to get off the specter route. I'm just like, no, I love her so much.
And finally, the rest of the body
I think we
floats up
only
to
got
join
the
head.
one the whole time.
Wait, this isn't right. What's going on here? Ghost!
I think I put that in almost everything that I write. A ghost.
Oh,
I watched too much Scooby-Doo
Wow.
as a child.
how absolutely terrifying. What's a ghost supposed to do to us?
Rollatron, I do love how cute the specter looks zoomed out. What? Like she looks
Oh,
different zoomed in?
It's you. Hiya, Keller. I was hoping to see you again. I have some issues with how our last meeting went.
I love the specter's voice.
Like how you murdered me?
It's been very fun learning how to edit and modulate Nicole's voice to really differentiate all of them.
Dehydrated princess.
Dehydrated princess.
Hiya, Killer. So good. Oh, should we load?
Nah, let's start over.
Yeah, okay.
Let's do the stranger next, and then really do all of the contrarian dialogue.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry, Geek
You're
of my
on
bone.
path.
We are not very far in. That was our first princess.
Can I
Is a
do
cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Labs?
Which princess's story was most challenging to write? I think the challenge itself was really just the structure of the game being so repetitive.
The individual princesses aren't too bad. I think what's really difficult was way more
Contrarian
difficult
Pog.
for this was the conversation in the woods at the start of the second loop, where it's like every single one is different, but they all have like similar anchor points where they meet back up. So not only is it writing the same conversation 10 times, but how do we write it so that it feels sufficiently different each time? Kari Kaiju, thank you so much again for the bits and for
thanks for being
hanging out a bit on stream.
I hope you had fun. I will see you next time. A question that came up in the Discord: what was the design inspiration for the different princesses, particularly Nightmare and Stranger? The Nightmare is a sleep paralysis demon.
Yeah.
So kind of draws inspiration from that, and then wearing the mask of it, of just kind of, she is the idea, like at first was introduced as a princess, and so that's kind of the mask she wears over what she really is.
Yeah.
And then the Stranger is kind of a skin suit princess,
Yeah.
is what the initial
It's
idea was.
It's a contradiction of believing what you're told on one level about her being a princess, but also knowing full well that she was capable of ending the world, and existing in all of these many cabins at the same time.
Yeah. So kind of like wrapped up in a princess skin, but you know she's much more than that.
Yeah.
And that's why she's been hard to design, honestly.
Yeah.
Also, bye, Brawlatron. Thanks for coming. All right.
Yeah,
We can
just
go
click
more.
there.
I click.
You're here to slay her.
Wow, didn't this
If you
happen?
don't-
Oh, wait, no, this isn't.
This did not already happen.
No, this is our first time. You know what? I've had just about enough of this.
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
I love Gaslight Simulator. Oh, yes. Yeah.
There'll be a new dawn.
Oh, I should read these out loud.
There'll just
I'm a
be
fool.
nothing forever. Fun. I suppose you just quietly continue. down the path
The
of
shifting of voices was really to just make them more particularly suited to that given princess's story.
I think for which voices are our favorites. So I think I like the Nightmare's really good. I also really like
Like
the
princess
Spectre.
voices or
Princess
voices
voice.
in your head?
Oh, I'm also doing voices in your
Okay,
head.
because I'm assuming when they say which voice is your favorite, they're talking about the Johnny ones.
Oh
'cause
yeah, I
they're
was just doing
labeled
both
that.
for
Oh,
fun.
sure.
Anyway, but I like the voice of the Cold. I think the most. Contrarian is fun, but voice of the Cold
I like
is just
the
a fun
Smitten.
guy.
He's a dick.
The Smitten is very funny.
Good. What we're
Ah,
being
thank
asked
you,
to
Cindy
do
Star.
is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it. Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Thank you, Blackwell Masked.
That's strange. It looks like this path
Smitten is a
also
tool,
leads to the
affectionately.
cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
No way.
You're really keen.
I'm outta
on voices
here.
you
Smitten
want
is
to
actually
record.
just the fan base.
It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me.
I mean,
Already
people
outlined
really
the
love
stakes of
the
this
damsel, so
If you don't do your job,
it's
everyone
pretty
dies.
accurate.
Like, dies. Forever.
It's like half damsel, sorry, half smitten, half broken.
Yeah, right.
Ooh, yeah. Let's see. Good, maybe everybody should die. It's what they get for dumping me in the woods and asking me to kill someone for them.
When I said everyone, I meant everyone. That's a pretty large group to just condemn to death over a single princess. And, last I checked, you're part of everyone too, so if you think about it, walking up to that cabin and slaying her is really in your best interests as well. But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came.
How Chief says, is it a spoiler if we ask what time period this game takes place in? It's kind of...
There's no answer.
There's no answer, yeah.
Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one.
It's
of
fun
those
that this sometimes
superstition
gets
or
people and they're
astrology,
like,
but I have to say,
well, I guess I
seems
gotta
like
go
the
in.
universe itself is doing its best to
Not a
bring
true contrarian is what that is.
with the
Right.
princess.
Boop, boop, boop. Oh yeah, well I guess I start walking in a different direction. Again. In fact, I'm gonna just keep trekking through the wilderness until I find a way out of this place.
There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who's ever lived. As well as for
All of the
everyone
different
who ever
cabins are, can I say? It's just multiple doors to one place.
Nah.
And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen.
Wow.
At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you
The
focus on
Kanika
your
Clinic
surroundings, you
route
start
was
to
scrapped
realize that those flickers
originally to save
weren't just
time, and then we
a trick
decided
of
the
the
narrative
light.
was better without it.
Yeah, you can still find the assets. I did all the assets for it. You can still find those, well, up until a certain point.
Won't be restoring it because it feels like it both makes Kanika's romance worse in the long term, and it makes the clinic
There is a
worse.
path
Yeah,
and a cabin.
I agree.
And not just a cabin, the cabin. An
Yeah, the art
infinite
direction I got for
fractal
this
of
was,
paths and cabins
can you make
desperately
fractals
trying
of
to draw you
cabins?
back to
And I was
where
like,
you used to be.
I'll see. Yeah, fortunately I just copy paste. It seemed most effective to just copy paste elements
Yeah.
from the backgrounds to really make it sink in that it's the same.
Wait, what's going on?
Abby, why can't you just draw in infinite art, please?
You're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world. You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose
Suburbia
track of just
route.
how long you spend aimlessly tromping
The
through
true
wilderness.
horror.
Yes.
Not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end
If you draw all the cabins yourself, I will gladly pay you an exposure.
And in the
Wow,
basement of
technically that is what I
cabin
get paid for
is
Slay
a
the Princess.
The full one, I think we mentioned this earlier, it will either be 15 or 20. We have not decided. Based on reception from this chat, people seemed very amenable to 20, so maybe that'll be
You're
the case.
here to slay
Yes.
her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Aw, Just Sam, thank you for subscribing.
Oh yeah, thank you. What made you settle on this cabin design?
Look like a cabin.
Look like a cabin.
Sometimes my answers are not very interesting.
Was
That's
told
life.
to draw a cabin, so drew a cabin.
Yes. I probably looked up the cabin from Evil Dead as part
As
reference
inspiration.
as inspiration. Of course, it's not quite that. There's no.
Oh, the Streamlabs bot came back on, and now it's
Hello.
going to spam all of these messages at the same time.
Uh,
I'm gonna see if I can do something about that. Stagger the timers or something.
lie. Yep. Okay. Heading to the cabin now, where I'm definitely going to slay that princess.
You know I can tell when you're lying, right?
Oh yeah, the shifting
Please
of the
take
background
this
is fine.
seriously.
I
am
like to
begging you.
just make the mouse go.
A warning before you go any further.
Make your Attack on Titan jokes now, please.
She
Wall
will lie.
Maria,
She
etc.
will cheat. She will do everything in her power to
It's-
stop you from
I
slaying
think
her.
like over half of the
But
times
if
I've
we
watched
stop
streams
going
for
in
this,
there, maybe we
someone
should
says
believe her.
Wall Maria
Maybe
when they
she
get to
isn't
this
a
point.
liar.
The tower looking over the wall. Jaeger.
Ignore him. He's just being difficult for the sake of it.
Rumbling.
Let's keep an open mind.
Okay, I go inside.
Is that a AOT reference?
It is odd. The air smells
Whenever
like
somebody would
plastic.
walk past
The wood
at
of the
PAX
walls
and somebody
fitted
was in this
together
cabin,
at
I was always
uncomfortable
just like, no,
angles.
wait, click
The
to a
only
different
furniture in the room
background.
is a plain
Show
wood
them
How
that
did,
I'm
how did
capable
you
of
settle on
drawing.
the path design with the drag line in the
Perched
middle?
on that table
Drew a path?
is a pristine
I drew path.
blade.
Yes. That's just how they look. Because those are usually where people walk. So it gets all
Alright, so we gotta
worn
be a
down
dick
in the
here.
middle.
Yeah, well, there'll be
You'll need it if you want to do this right.
there'll be a VOD uploaded to YouTube and Twitch after this.
Oh, the continuous monument. Is that the one where it's like they lay down a brick every 7 years or something? And it's
I
like
don't
not
know.
gonna finish
I don't
until,
know about art. I'm
like 400
uneducated.
years from now or something. Come on, PAX gamers. PAX
We
game
are
harder.
extremely happy with the reception hardcore mode got from the fans.
Yeah. I can't
Hundreds
believe
of people have finished it already. We got a lot of new patrons out of it, which is very exciting. And it felt like a nice compromise because I totally understand where people are coming from with wanting that third trait to explore things more thoroughly, but we really didn't want to compromise on the misery.
Yes. Hachif asks, how long has Abby been drawing? It's not too late to learn if I'm 21 and unskilled, right? Absolutely not. It is never too late to learn. I took high school art classes, and then besides that, I'm self-taught. And if you just basically do tutorials that artists provide, and like how to draw books and like anatomy books, then you're well on your way. And perspective, of course. Gotta learn perspective. It's very important. Oh, and of course, like, even if stuff is super annoying and you don't understand why somebody is telling you to do it, like an art teacher is telling you to draw an apple like 20 times, it actually turns out that stuff is super valuable. You should learn to draw the apple 40 times. But it is never too late to learn new skills, and 21 is quite young, so you're good.
I, for one, would rather have it. We don't really know what we're dealing with here.
I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do I have to explain this incredibly simple and straightforward premise?
You didn't say anything about the
We should look at
mirror.
ourselves. Wouldn't that be fun? You won't be looking at yourself because there isn't a mirror. There's the table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here.
Oh, wahoo, you only started digital art 3 years ago. You do such a good job. You're really good at it. Dextrous asks, did we develop the princess to fit the scenario? Start with the princess and work backwards, or a bit of both? It's a bit of both.
Yeah.
Especially some of the newer princesses. It's like we had some ideas when we started
More-
out
Yeah.
of some that we wanted to have based around general ideas of like how you can interact with the narrative. But then from there, it was just like, well, it doesn't really flow this way. So, for instance, we split the Fury into Adversary and Tower
Yeah.
because they just had very different vibes depending on what you did. And Prisoner and Damsel is also a big one.
Yeah. I think for the most part, though, it did start with they are there to fit the scenario instead of the scenario is bent to fit them.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely a mirror.
Well, I don't know
There
about
isn't.
that.
You insisting it isn't there just makes me want to look at it even more.
I want to see how handsome
I want to see how
We
handsome
shouldn't
I
waste
am.
time preening, but if he is lying about the mirror, it might be important.
There are some lines here with the mirror in particular where Johnny had not seen the art of
I'm
your
not
hands in the
lying
game.
to you.
And you
Use your
reference
eyes
feathers
use
and
no
preening.
mirror.
I'm just like,
Why
oh
would I
yeah,
lie
you're a
about
bird
something
person, by
so
the way.
meaningless? What good
It
would
was
it
fun.
even do? So we're all in agreement then. We're looking.
We are looking. You're so right.
You walk up to
Oh.
the wall next to the basement door. It's
we just reached out to
Doesn't
VAs, no
This really
auditions.
isn't
We
fun.
had the two that we wanted, and then we messaged them, and they were like, hell yeah.
You reach forward and rub your hand.
Yeah, so that was
against
nice.
the
it was
cabin
both of our
wall.
first picks.
Hope you
Yep.
know
It was
how
really great.
Very
Thank
easy.
you to our people who helped us.
It was there a
Very
second
nice.
ago. Now it's gone. You know that taking the mirror away from us isn't going to change things, right? We'll find it again, and then we'll see whatever it is that you don't want us to see.
I want the knife.
Can't
take
believe
the-
you're
I
out
have
here
it now.
confirming bird person,
It would be
Abby.
difficult
You're
to
doing
slay
such
the
a Tom
princess and
Holland
save the
thing.
world without a weapon.
I'm sorry. It's okay. I'll be
Fine,
banned
take the
from the
knife.
stream.
You really shouldn't hold it like that.
You mean y'all hands don't look like that? Yeah, I used these as a reference.
Then how are we
This is what
supposed to
Canada
hold it?
does to your hands. It's too
Mhm.
cold here.
The other way.
Hello.
At the bottom. Will look much cooler and more serious if we hold it with our thumb at the bottom. It really doesn't matter how you hold the blade, as long as you have it. Just make a choice. Switch your
Yeah!
Congratulations.
Y'all can see the cursor, right? I hope so.
I think they can.
Hehehehe.
Yes! Isn't this so much
But yeah,
better?
for all you know, us confirming,
Okay, fine. You're right.
or Abby
This
accidentally
doesn't look
confirming a bird person was just a masterful
It really
misdirection
doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Just
all
get
that
of
it.
my-
I'm leaning into so hard.
Yes! Do it!
I will do it. Whatever you say.
Red herring? Nah, it's a red heron. I know it.
Glass shattering as it flies out into the
Oh yeah, for this original background, I had not
Suppose you'll
put
just have
any
to deal
like
with the princess without a weapon.
window. Sorry, this is such a trivial bit of information, but I had not put like a window pane filter on this. It's just kind of this is just what the background looks like. So in order to do the smash, I just did the edges and then I put a darker layover here, a slightly darker transparency, so it looks like it's just the outside, but actually this is the part that's covered now. Wow, was that interesting to anyone? I have no idea.
Can't believe
These are
you
the
actually did
trivias I think of when I look at my art.
We'll be fine, don't worry about it. What's the worst that could happen? The world ends? Oh well. If the princess wasn't going to do it, the heat death of the universe was going
Oh
to
good,
come for it
everybody thought it was
eventually.
interesting. Yay!
What's done is
Yes,
done.
this is the deep
Good
knowledge.
luck, hero.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a great job. I did not get.
It's Johnny is very good at sighing.
Yeah, that was such
And
a
he
good
just
one.
has excellent comedic timing.
door to the
Very
basement
rare to
creaks
find a
up,
performer who can
revealing a
do both.
staircase built from an
spooks and
unidentifiable
jokes.
and
Mhm.
featureless material. The steps barely seem to fit together, and upon closer inspection, they barely seem to go anywhere at all, let alone down.
I had Tony draw. He would draw stairs,
My awful attempt at perspective.
and then I copied that because I couldn't not make stairs look that way. I tried. I think I have to make it worse.
The air here has an almost artificial quality to
I
No,
don't know,
Tony's
it's
in the
pretty
art
good.
credits for a
Plastic in the
different
cabin.
fun reason.
Yeah, we can go there
Cocktail of
next.
Chemical odors.
And that's why Tony
If the
gets art
princess
credit.
really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her
Yeah,
a
I did
favour.
the art for the good ending.
Her voice carries up the stairs, its multitonal lilt adding to the already uneasy atmosphere.
Hi there.
Oh, is this why you took your headphones off?
Yes.
Is
I took my headphones
someone
off.
there?
I could handle
You've
her at
been
the
very
con.
good at waiting the right amount of time to click.
Oh, thank you.
Isn't what I expected her to sound like.
Yeah, I took
What
my
is she?
headphones off. Like, excellent work,
Well, she's not a
Nicole.
princess, that's for sure. She is a princess. Don't let your imagination run wild.
The weird perspective upstairs was all me. I can do bad perspective of like that kind of straightforward thing, but like trying to draw stairs bad enough was not working.
Okay. A lot of stranger questions. Yeah, the upstairs was just giving Abby the direction of just like, please fuck up the perspective. Let's see, was the kind of singing yours or Nicole's idea based on the assignment? I think that was Nicole. And then this is 2 tracks layered over each other. What's your favorite princess to design, Abby?
The tower,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
I figured you were gonna say that.
The witch is also really fun though.
Yeah.
She's just kind of, she's got
Well,
that.
of course
woodsy
you have
thing
to
going
kill
on.
the stranger. She's going to end the world if you don't.
Even if she's like, I would never. With like 5 different voices speaking at the same time. Alright, where do we click?
I think I'm here to kill
I
you.
think I'm here to kill you.
No, you shouldn't do that.
I think we came up with the what is now the adversary first.
Can just be friends.
Yeah, it was very, very quick though. Like we had a whole list together almost immediately. Honestly, I would say it was probably the nightmare first because you get the first step in her transformation in chapter 1.
Oh man, I gotta watch Possibly in Michigan. I keep forgetting that this exists, but it's very cool.
It takes you a moment to orient yourself before you're able to start moving forward.
Pretty women can end the world if they want. It's their right.
As you enter the next room, the form of the princess comes into view, her wrist bound to the far wall in heavy shackles. She locks eyes with you, one moving a little faster than the other, the loose skin of her face stretching into something resembling a smile. Holy shit. If we knew she'd be like this,
I love when he say holy
maybe
shit.
we wouldn't have tossed that knife out the window.
I support women's rights.
Just standing there.
I am now the smitten. I'm glad we have simps for every princess. Equal rights.
There she is. Beautiful.
I'm not scared. I love you, promise.
Friend-shaped princess. Here, Abby. You can resume. I like when you click.
Good. I love to click.
You're on a path.
My
in the
queen,
woods.
let me serve you and your
And at the end of
loves.
that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin
By the way,
is a
let's see.
princess. You're here to slay her.
Just Sim, thank you for the
If you
prime
don't,
sub.
It will be the end
Skull
of the world.
Wolf Kurt, thank you for the bits. Sorry that we missed you saying goodbye. Demeter Deem, thank you for the follow. And Eddie Van Deathproof, thank you for the follow.
Okay,
Don't.
thanks for telling me what
It's all
to do.
part of the job. You make your way up the
Are
short
these
path
the
to
lovely
cabin.
lady lumps?
You find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying.
The friend zone.
Don't. We're not going to go through.
Fourth
it,
Wish,
fine?
thank you for the
She's a
follow.
princess. We're supposed to save.
People are
princesses,
asking
not
for
slay
razors,
them.
so we should give the
Okie
people what they
dokie.
want.
Ignore
I'll
him.
do
He
it.
doesn't know what he's talking about.
Proceed into the cabin. If you could choose between damsel or tower, which one would you choose? Tower.
The interior of the cabin is
Yeah.
almost entirely bare. The
I'm
air is
an
stale and
adversary
musty,
simp,
and the
though.
floor and walls are
Yeah,
painted
that's
in a
Tony's
fine layer
favorite
of dust.
one.
I like
Only
the
furniture
Goku
of note
dynamic.
is a plain wooden table. The blade
Oh.
is your implement. You'll need it.
I keep clicking. I'll stop doing that.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather
Understandable.
difficult
Have a
to
good
slay the
day.
princess and save the world without it. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Yeah, what's the Dragon Ball Z reference in these achievements?
Oh, there's
Her
the
voice
Gohan
carries up the
Linkin
stairs.
Park one.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, I tried so hard with the shot of him going Super Saiyan 2 from the AMV. We all watched that AMV.
Who's there?
Show of hands in chat.
She
How many
sounds
people
dangerous.
watched those Dragon Ball
It's
Z
almost as if
Linkin
she's the
Park
one in charge down
AMVs back in the day?
Don't let it fool you.
A forest of
It's all
hands
part
shoot
of the
up.
manipulation.
Just checking in.
Oh, it's been so long since anyone's come down here. I was starting to think they'd forgotten about me.
But I watch Warrior Cat AMVs, so I don't think I'm any better.
Lock eyes with the princess.
Sonic, Newgrounds sprite
There's a heavy chain
animations,
around
yep.
her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
I only ever accidentally happened upon Kingdom Hearts once.
Oh yeah, the Rock Lee Gara one is good.
I don't know shit about Kingdom Hearts. I kept getting them
She's
though.
so
People were like, look at this great
Well,
thing.
it's got like the darkness in it. I know
She
that.
has
will
the
add threat to
darkness.
world.
The light also in it.
Focus on the task at hand.
The Razor has all of Razor accoutrements, such as the Motorola Razor phone and Razor wire. Wait, that's not very nice.
And there you are.
Kingdom Hearts
Are you
has
gonna
everyone
kill
in
me
it.
or something?
Oh, thanks for thinking she's pretty.
What does the window? Where does the window in the basement lead? Outside.
Yeah, it's on a hill, so it's like
If
one
the
of those
Slayer were to
situations where
walk
it's like,
around the
dirt
cabin,
is
would
here.
they see it? Maybe.
Mhm. What? No way! Why would you
That
do
giant
that?
knife you're holding
Yeah.
kind of gives it away, doesn't it?
The blade. Of course she doesn't want to talk. Who'd want to have a conversation at knife point?
Kingdom Hearts has
We
all
should
sorts
drop
of
it.
characters with names like
Don't
Xehanort.
It's fine. We can decide what we want to
Like
do
that
after we talk to
name
her.
sounds
Maybe
like
she
I'm
really is
making
a
fun
monster.
of Kingdom
Killing
Hearts,
someone
you
in
know?
cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
I
You
keep
ignore the
knife.
trembling in your hands and tighten your grip on the blade.
Yeah, of course she knows
Poor thing.
immediately.
Your hands
Can't you
are
see the
shaking.
cursor? It's got a
Are
knife
you?
right there.
Oh, hi,
Scared
Mom.
of me?
My mom is here,
Because
everyone.
you should be.
Be on your best behavior.
You step forward. Your grip on the blade.
You know the second you tell chat to be on their best
They're gonna
behavior,
do
they're
all
gonna be
kinds of
like the
weird shit.
worst.
I'm probably
Talk
changing
about
It's an
being
things
stepped
for a
on
unspoken
reason.
rule.
Or eaten or
And if
whatnot.
that knife is the only weapon you have.
It's okay,
you'll
she
have to
reads
get close
everything
enough
on
to
Twitter.
use it.
She's seen it all.
Favorite
You
memories
should
or
just
surprising
drop it.
moments from watching folks
Best
play
not to risk finding out
live
what
at
people
PAX
do.
East? I like the part where a bunch of journalists came up
Do you
to
hear the
collectively
conviction
give us
in
a
her
bunch of
voice?
awards. That's
Do you
my
see the
favorite memory.
rise of
Yeah, that
sharpness
was a
in her
really good
voice?
one.
I don't think she's bluffing.
I liked the reactions that we kept seeing, the ones that were repeated, like when people would see her gnawing her arm off, they would always like have the same kind of jumping back from the screen a little bit reaction. That was great.
She's unarmed.
Oh, I
If
also,
you
there were a
hesitate
few
now, it'll be too
times,
late.
I think like
End this.
early on day 2 of the show when I was like in line for the bathroom and then I overheard people in the line
I'm positive.
multiple times
I'm-
talking
We'll
about
keep our eyes peeled.
our little game and
If
it was
she
like,
has a
oh,
weapon,
okay,
she'll
we
have to draw it before she
we did a good job at PAX. We have
Hesitate.
won PAX
Why don't you drop
because
the knife
everywhere
so
I
that
go,
you
it's
can be
just
civilized with
I
each other?
I hear like from just outside of my bubble people talking about our thing.
I had this sock. Somebody on the internet was like, what you should do with that sock is get like one of those posable hands, and that's how we can display it. I think that's a good
I think
idea.
that's a good idea. We should
Yeah,
do that.
I've been thinking of where to put it that would be special.
I think
The
that's what
sock
we'll
was
do.
one of the
We
prizes.
can use all of these bits to buy a hand.
Yeah, like a little sock puppet. I'm not dropping it. Oh, I slipped. I dropped it.
Trembling hands.
Wow,
drops
that
to
was
the floor.
immersive.
Unceremonious clap.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
I'm just gonna buy this one, Abby.
Oh, you're doing
Against
it.
your
Wow.
better
Right?
judgment,
This looks fine.
you step
Yeah.
forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed.
This is a work expense.
Yeah, oopsie daisy.
We'll
No
be
staring
fine.
contest today. I'll do it next time.
Oh, I loved how often people would do the staring
Don't know what
contest.
your
Which is
husband
good because
has
it's really
here, but I
funny.
can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
I've had enough.
Oh. You decided
I
to
love
leave.
doing that so much. It's so funny.
Let's talk. Never mind.
You know why you're here.
I heard enough.
Relationship.
You're flirting with me? Death.
Let's see. Yeah.
You charge the princess.
I slay you. Haha.
But
I tricked
unfortunately,
you.
earlier suspicions
Oh
proved
no.
wrong. A blade
Oh,
of
you
her
should do the
own
one
slips down
where
her
it's just
sleeve
you
and
die.
touches you.
I love
Sure.
clicking the die button.
It's fun.
funny.
Blood sprays from the cut. Your severed carotid artery painting the princess with strokes of red.
There are multiple
Better
ways to
finish
get
your
to
task
the
quickly
razor, by the way.
before you run out of time.
By the way, I would be remiss if I didn't say it. If you have
I'm
not wish
dying.
listed Slay the Princess on
serious?
Steam and followed the Steam page, please do that right now. It helps us with the algorithm.
La Creatura Princess.
Got something that I've really appreciated
Wound in
about
your neck is too
our
much for
audience
you to bear.
growing over the past
Collapse
few
to the floor
years
of the
is
basement,
that I don't
rapidly
need to just
bleeding.
constantly chill on stream all the time.
Oh yeah, that's great.
I don't have to
Um,
constantly be like, buy our game, wishlist our game.
I think while he
People
was
just
asking
do
if
it.
people have accidentally not realized it was a loop, and yes, constantly.
No,
At PAX,
no,
like,
not constantly.
they did figure it out most of the time.
A handful of people.
Yeah, did not realize that that was not just the demo looping. It's usually in person.
Sub 10 people. It helps that
Oh.
there was a long line so people
Mhm.
could see other people see it was a loop.
Yeah. The hardest route to get to right now is the beast. We're gonna fix that.
Yeah.
How many organs does the protagonist have? Normal amount.
The princess stands over you with an intense curiosity as you fade away.
I'm
Oops.
dying. Oops. Wow, I don't think I had seen anyone click that. That's good.
Yeah, that's why I said do it.
Everything goes black.
That's wonderful. She won. When women murder you. That's this game.
Yeah.
Get murdered
So
over and over.
the beast changes, those are probably not going to be updated in the demo. It'll just be something that drops with the full
And at the end
game.
of that path
Um
is a cabin.
mostly because like
And in
updating the
basement
deck
of that
it would
cabin
require a little
is
bit of
a
extra
princess.
dialogue and stuff like that because I know what to do. It would
You're
just take a
here
bit of
to
extra
slay
effort.
her. If you don't, it will be the end of
Yeah,
the
I love the die options.
Yeah. People very rarely click them, but maybe it can be advantageous. Who knows?
That's one of the...
Again? People don't die twice. You haven't even met the princess, and I hardly think she'd be capable of killing someone as
Do you guys
skilled
still
and
think fan art that's just
courageous
like an
as yourself.
interpretation of a still from a game in the artist's own style? We love fan art
Absolutely.
like that.
I love it so much.
If he doesn't remember what happened,
It's so much fun to
maybe it's
see.
best to keep it.
We like pretty much all the fan
Sure
art we
we don't
see.
want to turn
By
around
pretty
and
much,
get
I
out of
mean
here.
all of
I
it.
really don't want to be stabbed to death. but
Don't sweat that I said that and be like, oh no, did my
you
fan
won't
art
have to worry
offend you?
about
No, it
that.
didn't.
Princess
No, I
is
love the fan
unarmed.
art. Every single piece
I
of it is
love the
precious
fan
to me.
That's exactly what you told us last time.
I really like
Soon
the
as we
one
tried to slay
of
her,
the
she
winners from the fan art
just started stabbing
competition.
us.
I really like
To death.
the Untitled Goose Game crossover fan art. It's very
And then
funny
when it
idea.
came up as... You posted the winners, right?
Yes, I
Yeah,
did.
when it came up as one of the winners, Tony like audibly was like, yes!
Calm down. I assure you she has no weapons.
Megadeth, I highly doubt that. Hopefully.
We're made need for this job. You'll do just fine.
Yeah, the flinching is kind of a nice guy, in a way.
He's just scared.
I go.
A warning before you go any further.
Ah, stick figure princess. Interesting.
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. No. No, we can't go in there. Do either of you feel sick? Because I feel sick just thinking about that place. We're going to die again, and I bet it's going to hurt. It's good to be careful, but you're really not helping with all that talk about death and dying. Agreed. Just ignore that clown and stay focused.
Okay. Voice of the flinching trying to call in sick from his job slaying the princess.
Would we
The
not
interior of
all
the cabin
do
is a
that?
jagged mess of warped
She's
wood,
very
broken
scary.
boards,
The hardest
their
backgrounds to do
splintered
were
edges
this
as
and the
uninviting
witch.
as
They are
shattered
very
glass.
labor intensive.
The only furniture
Yeah.
of note is a
Compared
pointed
to some of the
table
others.
with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade
I
is
like
your
this
implement.
music.
Stick
You'll need
figure
it if you want to do this
princess.
right.
Two-dimensional, so you can't actually stab her.
I take the
You
blade.
take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the
Aw,
princess
thank you,
and save the
Brollatron.
world without a weapon.
Yeah, Brandon did an incredible job.
Holding it.
This
Oh, it feels a little
was quite a demanding project.
Aw, I'm so glad people like the razor. I just go basement. I've seen the
The door to
mirror.
the basement creaks open, revealing what must once have been stairs. The fractured slats look as if they've been torn from their source and violently jammed
Yeah,
into the
Megadeth
wall.
over here is a monster princess appreciator.
The air seeping up from below has an almost metallic quality to it, like the smell of fresh blood. And you can hear what sounds like the rhythmic scraping of metal coming from down below. If the princess lives here, slaying her would
Stabbing
probably be
your
doing her a
walls.
favor.
Scraping him.
You're the one doing the scraping.
I'm
I told
scraping.
you she has something. I told you. That sound could be anything. It's probably just her chains dragging across the floor. I am begging you to get out of your head.
I'm listening to the stream while I play Scarlet Hollow
Her
hardcore
grating
mode.
voice carries on
Excellent.
its
I hope you've come to rescue me. I've been stuck down here forever.
There's something wrong with that voice. I can hear her bloodlust. As you descend the final step, the form of the
She's so
princess
cute.
comes into view.
Wow,
her
she
sharp
seems
eyes
nice.
Following you from across the room.
This was the last background that I did, I think, because I was just like, how do I make the basement feel sharp? So it comes to a
Oh.
point.
It's very good.
Thank you.
The
I wonder if
perspective
she
is very
remembers.
uncomfortable here.
Yay!
Finally,
She attacked,
somebody,
but she also
quick, get
attack.
me out of these chains. We're not safe here.
Aw, thank you, Bugs. That's so nice.
We're not falling for it. She's tricking us. Can't you hear that threatening edge to her voice? She just wants us to get close.
Sorry.
Let our guard down. Then it'll all happen again. If she sounds threatening, it's because her mask is already
I would
sealed.
live here.
She knows
The
why
interior
you're
designer
here.
of this place made some weird
You are
choices.
armed,
I would live
after
here
all.
anyway. Yeah, this would be a great plant nook where she's standing.
Yeah.
Get some good moonlight action. if
Maybe
there's a
some
moon.
rainwater.
Oh yeah, because the window's all garbage. Perfect. Not much you can do with these walls of solid stone, but you know.
3,000 a month in New York City.
You are here to rescue me, right?
Her toesies, eh? We got some flip people in chat
Can't
over
believe
here.
we're giving that away for free.
Wow.
Toes should only be visible in the full release.
The razor.
Oh, we got an achievement. That's nice.
Oh, we got the hello. Wow, I guess you've never played through. Not even play our own game. That was a coincidence. The JoJo inspiration. I don't think have we gotten to Cars?
Yeah, that was season 2.
Oh wow. I'm sorry I stared at her toes for free.
It's funny. I've seen people talk about Cars ending, and I assumed that they were talking about the good ending, where you just are there forever until eventually you don't think anymore. I guess there's multiple cars.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin.
Voice of the Lightning
And in the
McQueen.
basement of that cabin
Dexterous, how could you?
is a princess.
Oh, let's just do damsel.
Okay.
I want that smith.
You're here to slay her.
I want him to
If you
yell.
don't,
Yeah, we're doing
it
damsel.
will be the end of the world.
Sorry, I keep skipping these. If you want to hear what he has to say, you'll just have to play the demo.
That's the spirit.
Viva la revolution!
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further.
Wow, I think
She
this
will
guy's
lie.
full of it.
She will cheat.
She's
She will do
probably really
everything
nice.
in her power to stop you from slaying her.
The average
Don't
development
believe a
cycle
word
for an
she
episode of
says.
Scarlet Hollow is I start the rough draft, which usually takes me like maybe 3 or 4 months because it's very complicated, especially now. Then I get started on the art while Tony puts all of that into the game, adds all the variables,
Does the
codes
second
it,
draft,
edits.
adds a bunch
Yeah,
of
it does the
stuff.
second adds shitloads of variations and
Yeah.
especially the trait dialogue. A lot of that is Tony.
I think like I add like something like 30% more content after you give the script.
We're not going to
to
go
me.
through
Yeah,
it.
it's a huge
She's
process.
a princess. We're supposed
And
to
then
save
we release it.
princesses, not slave them.
And that usually, that takes several months.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking
Doing
about.
all of the art is a lot. Yeah, good job with the mystical dialogue, Tony.
What if the monarchy was cute though?
The interior
Much to
of the cabin
consider.
is almost
Yeah,
entirely
I'm glad that we finally
Cabin
landed
is the
on
best,
something that
girl.
feels right
Floor and walls
for
are painted
mystical.
in a fine
Yeah.
That took a while.
It did.
The only furniture of note is a
I think it
plain
took
wooden
to the
table
point
perched on
in
the
writing the game where
It's a
mystical
pristine
became
blend.
relevant to the story to be like, okay, this is what mystical is, and then we could go back
You'll need it if you want to
and
survive.
pretty easily just go through and redo how it appeared in the first couple chapters to be more aligned with that.
I'm not listening to him.
The door to the basement.
The head of our
clicks
government is a princess in a
revealing
basement. It's not
staircase
perfect, but it's better than most
ventilated by an
alternatives.
unseen light to the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives
I wonder
here,
what the completion
slaying
rate
her
is for
probably doing
hardcore
her a
mode right
favour.
now.
Her voice softly carries
Came
up the
out
stairs.
barely a day ago.
Hello? Is someone there?
I love the difference
Yes.
between no knife
Hypnotizing.
and yes
It's the
knife.
kind of voice you only have to hear
Good job,
once
Would
Nicole.
there be
to know for the rest
consequences
of
for
your life.
picking up a small ditchling as though it were a cat, or would it tolerate this? There would be consequences. We will not elaborate on what those consequences are.
One should stay away from them.
Don't let it fool you.
Wow, that's a lot of
All
people
part
who
of the
finished so far.
manipulation. You're playing
That's
a
cool.
dangerous game by coming here.
Crest of Flame. Still sad that taking mystical dialogue options worsens my relationship with Kanika. Just remind her too much of quacks, even though you are the real deal.
A thing that still I wish it worked better from a game design perspective is, especially like the first go at things,
I'm doing
we
the
really
same.
wanted, like, for some of the traits, especially mystical, for things popping up in your dialogue options to be read by players as us giving you information through the trait. I.e., if you're conveying like a doom, it's that that option is there because you feel that doom. But that never worked. So we had to add a bunch of like passive information.
That's my ugly little child. Ah.
How did designing the trait system evolve, and what evolve it to what it is in the final game? I know there was actually not any inspiration for the trait system from Disco Elysium. We had not played Disco Elysium until we'd finished episode 3 of Scarlet Hollow.
Yeah.
Well, it's a very, like, I think there's heavier disco influences on Slay the Princess, though. Even with the voices in your head in Slay the Princess, it was less oh, I like this thing in Disco Elysium, what if we move it to something else? And it was more a way of limiting the player's thought processes with Slay the Princess, right? Like she, I think it's clear enough that we can talk about this without it being too big of a spoiler. But the princess changes based on like the player's relationship with her and their perception of her, and it's one of the core artistic conceits of the game. And early on for the first draft, like I kept running into an issue of just like, okay, but how do we make sure the player believes a certain thing? How do we make sure we don't get into a scenario where, like, if Slay the Princess were a tabletop game, someone who figures it out, if you will, doesn't just metagame their way across the table? And the answer for that was, well, if there are voices, and those voices are a part of you, and they firmly believe things, that's how we can shift your perspective.
Hi.
Sorry, I keep expecting a menu to pop up.
That's okay. So like, I think like if there was a direct disco influence there, it was we'd experienced a similar system with it. So it was something that came up as, well, this is a way you can do it. Yeah, that's why the MC is more of a defined character and less of a blank slate.
Oh, bye, Brandon.
Bye, Brandon.
Our composer is leaving.
So for Scarlet Hollow's trait system, that was more, I think the biggest influences there were Divinity Original Sin. I like the tags in it.
Talk to animals.
And Talk to Animals was I very much liked Pet Pal in that game. And then also like Fallout New Vegas, and Knights of the Old Republic 2, really the Obsidian games where your character builds gave you flavorful dialogue. And I remember when I first played those games when I was younger, being so blown away by like, you know, with so many other games, like the first Knights of the Old Republic, it's like, well, you have a talk skill, and the talk skill gives you dialogue options, but like being strong, all it does is make you better at combat. So like the first time I played New Vegas, and it was like, oh yeah, if you're really strong, you can use that to intimidate people. If you're really dumb, you get different dialogue. If you're really smart, you get different dialogue. That was a big inspiration. And then it became just like, okay, how do we condense this to like a nice set? What's a good number to pick for one playthrough? 2 felt like a very good quantity to let someone's main character have a lot of dimension to it. These are like a couple core facets that you're good at, but then it's not so many different things that your character loses structure and concept.
Yeah, like with the 3 trait system that you can get with hardcore mode, it's just like you're too multifaceted.
Yeah, your character...
It's hard to come up with dialogue for 3 traits to say necessarily together. Like, it's not impossible, for sure, especially with some of the, like, kind of stronger personality type ones, but it's just kind of it's so many that it's just kind of you're a normal person now with multiple skills.
And I think very early on, like before we started working on the script, it just seemed like a good idea to have that last step of trait interaction where it does give you an easy way out of solution of like difficult situations. We knew we were going to have a lot of them. We knew it would be roughly like 1 per day. And it felt like, oh, here's a way that we can make those traits feel even more meaningful. For these, I wish there were dumb dialogue options in Scarlet Hollow. If you pick a hot and powerful build, there are quite a few.
Letting us be hot is the best thing any game has ever done. It's so fun. I always play as hot. Though I don't pick the fun option it comes with. I like a different thing for how that one gets settled.
Will there be a joke ending for people who modded Scarlet Hollow to choose all of the traits? This is something we've discussed. Maybe.
Yeah, if you want to mod it so you can get all of them. Have fun seeing how that breaks the game.
1, have fun seeing how that breaks the game. And 2, bear in mind that we are aware that people do this, and we might have some good-natured fun with you if you do it.
In response to the getting 3 traits, you have too much to you. Get humbled.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay sharing this spoiler. You will get more voices in your head than you can currently have in Slay the Princess. I think, honestly, the interaction of the different voices is one of the best things about the game, and it's one of the most fun things to write, so yes, it will escalate.
Alright, we caught up. Excellent.
Thanks, KDB. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Have a good one.
Yeah, Johnny talking to himself, Simulator 2023.
Yeah.
I hope you brought something to deal with these chains.
Yeah, if only you did.
If she gets out of those chains, we're all one step closer to the end.
Yeah, right.
G-Wise, thank you for the follow.
I'll see what I can do.
You're only
Hello.
making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Vernum, wow, that's just like real life. Every time I have to make a choice.
You're making a huge mistake.
Whatever.
No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to
Yes,
chains,
the princess's
bind
eyes
the
are that
princess
big.
to the wall,
Yeah,
and give
that's
them
not.
time.
This is what she looks
This is
like. in
this
real
is
life.
not.
They're
She is
not.
drawn in an anime style. The princess is anime.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs.
Enjoy, Crest. Thanks for stopping by.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away.
Big eyes representation.
Never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her
Somebody
chain
had to do
somewhere
it.
in the cabinet.
Yeah, and if there isn't a key, do you have any other ideas? No, wait. I'm gonna go check upstairs. I'm being proactive. Maybe the key's still lying around somewhere up there. And if not, maybe I can at least find something to break you free.
Okay.
We are friends.
I'll be
I don't
tweet,
trust the
tweet, tweet,
narrator.
tweet, tweet,
Tweet, tweet.
tweet, tweet.
You attempt to make your way out of the
Tony's
basement
all mad at
with
me
the
for
door
saying
at the
bird,
top
and
side.
Tony's out here tweeting.
You know.
You hear the click of a
You-
lock
you already
slide
said it.
into place. Is someone else here?
Give her a pug skull. Ooh. I think with the skull and the skeleton, I did make the eye sockets really big, but I should make sure that she also has that little squished in nose because her nose is so small. Hey, let me out of here. Nah, you know what? I give up.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs.
What kind
This
of
would have
bird,
been
though?
so much
Penguin?
easier
Oh my
if you'd
gosh, I
just
love when
taken
people
the
do,
blade
like,
you were
realistic-
supposed to.
Realistic birds.
No, like versions of drawing the princess.
Oh yeah.
Where her eyes are hideously large.
Easier for whom?
And by hideously, I mean adorable.
Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I'm proactive. Gives up immediately. That's me. I tried.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, guess we're just both gonna die.
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before
There she
raising her
goes.
arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf.
Do you like how her skirt moves different from the rest of her?
As she rips
I like
the flesh from her
layering.
bone,
Layering.
a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing
I
metal.
wonder if
Deb's good eating.
if we'll be able
We're
to
all being
match the
proactive
sheer
here.
horror of this moment in the rest of the game.
I mean, you do have me on staff.
This is true.
And by on
This
staff, I mean as a
this game
co-creator.
this game was not a horror game before Abby started doing art for it.
It's the
It
blade from
was
upstairs.
it had
Not sure
horror
how it's
elements,
here, but if there's
It
a
was
but it was
mostly-
mostly like a morality puzzle / comedy game. And then Abby
like, so she-
made it so scary.
You want her to eat her arm, right? With her teeth.
So
I
I don't
come in
remember it. I don't
and I'm like,
remember
you
if the
can't
eating
have
the
me
arm
work on
was
something that isn't
was like because I think that was written in the script first,
Yeah, I
but
think
then
it's
you
just the
made it so
concepts.
much
Oh,
worse.
thank you.
You won't like what happens if you do.
Yeah, right, Megadeth? That's how I feel too. People get all like, oh my god, when they see that. And I'm like, this is normal. Aw, thank you, eyeball mouth. Goodbye, Velvet Worm. I hope you have a
She
good
watched
day.
Saw once. Oh,
Never show Saw to princesses. They're very vulnerable to influences.
I Against
Yeah.
your better judgment,
What big eyes you have, all the better to absorb fucked up media information with.
Pretend this is not a knife, it is a little mouth that goes,
to cut.
a little blood on your mouth. I'll clean that up for you. Slurp.
The blade is sharp, and it takes
She's
little
so cute.
I hope my mom isn't
effort
still
to
here.
both
Slurp.
Oh.
her limb falls to
Yeah,
the
I mean, there's good eating on
the heavy
this.
chains
You should
fall
probably take it
asleep.
with you. You never
She
know.
didn't
There
so
doesn't
much
seem
as
to be
utter a
food in this
sound
realm.
through the whole ordeal.
Unrealistic expectations for women being able to rip their arms off if need be. Well, you know, to be fair, I haven't tried. Maybe it would be pretty easy. What do you think, Tony?
No, she didn't.
Ripping your arm off?
She smiled.
Yeah,
softly
that,
as her
was it
gaze
100
met
hours or
yours.
between a rock and a hard
Blood from her
place?
wounded
100
arm.
hours, I
Yeah.
think. Or was it 100 or
117?
some
It
number
was some
of
number.
hours?
We're always silencing women. She don't even scream. Women aren't even allowed to scream anymore when they rip their own arms off.
How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
She's our little friend. Okay, let's leave together.
We won't have any.
I loop my arm around her
We
remnants.
can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that.
Speaking of the horror stuff that I draw, there was an Am I the Asshole post about us yesterday.
Oh yeah, we
Everyone
got so
thought-
many Scarlet Hollow sales and wish lists because
Yeah.
someone played Scarlet Hollow on a plane, got yelled at by a Karen for it. But then it's like when he made the I am the asshole post, like described it as like the most horrifically violent and disturbing video game, and I'm like, and every one of the comments like, you wouldn't watch Saw or pornography on a game. I'm just like, there are like 4 brief moments of disturbing violence where the only way someone would see that you were playing something horror-y on the game would be if they were glued to your screen.
Yeah, exactly. Are we playing the same game? Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, like you'd have to really. There are so many hours of just hanging around with people in that game.
I can't believe that wasn't an April Fool's joke either.
So many people because it was on April Fool's
They kept
Day.
being like, "Wow, is
They're
this an
like, "Great
elaborate
joke."
prank?" It was like that would be. I'm
It
not
was
s-
covered,
look.
It was covered in the mirror.
I'm pretty smart at marketing. That's beyond my pay grade. I couldn't hope to ever have the skill set where I would be capable of
A little bloody
conceiving of faking that.
knife. Yeah. I was just like, did some fan do this to boost our sales? Like, how is this possible? But whatever happened, apparently our game is horrifically violent, and I'm like, this is news to me. Though there's some stuff later on where I'm like, well, I guess if you were at this part and you picked this specific option, I can see how somebody would be like, I can't believe you had this open near children. But at the same time, I'm like, is it that bad?
Watch me.
Oh,
What
no.
are you doing?
Why would you do that? I not do this. I am good. I warn you.
Stop that.
Chunks.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart.
Yeah, like there's a moment in episode 4 where I'm like, if you watch that, then I'm sure. I did go a little hard on that. I really enjoyed it, though. Several of the routes there.
Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
Thank you. It is so layered. I love the layering in this game. Thanks, Tony, for such a
The
cool
blade.
idea.
Move
Thanks
the
to all of the
blade.
Rumpai devs who open source very cool things.
We're doing a VOD. I think the VOD will be
As your
available.
body
Yeah.
moves,
I'll be uploading the VOD to YouTube because I also want to
step forward.
I want to replace the thing that loops on our Steam page with like something that has the not old content.
She
This one
nervously
just has a lot of
reaches
pausing
towards
on
you
one
and
screen for a
takes
long
the
time
blade
while we
from
talk.
your
I guess people like that, though.
rigid hands. What are you doing?
Gosh, there's like a death screen for her
I'm
that I had
sorry.
to do
I'll
like
try to be
so many
quick.
different variants of, depending
Yeah.
on how bloody she is.
Does she
Where-
have an arm?
Does she have an arm?
Is the knife in her chest?
Does she have blood on her mouth?
Tearing
Her face is
flesh and
different.
sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
Oh no! I'm so
This
sorry.
segment was really, really hard to get right, and I'm still not sure it's super. Like, mostly
Oh,
it
the
is.
art is.
Well, sorry, the art's great. It's the ordering of the narration where. So, next
Oh,
line.
this is
Stay
tough. Yeah.
strong. We
Where
can
the
tough it out
narrator
till it's done.
describes what she's doing and then she does it. It felt like he needed to describe it first, and then for the maximum emotional
Don't stop
impact,
pretending that
she
dying
does her thing and then you die. But then it's like he's describing something that isn't happening while he does it. But she needs to say things while it's happening.
Yeah, because it's the stuff she says is
Whatever.
good.
She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again. You feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Because I really love that. I love that so much. It's so fun.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not. Though it doesn't matter how sloppy her knife work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound. And it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry.
So yeah, he like describes her doing that, and then she does it after. But I don't know how to fix it, like to make it kind of.
Oh, I think it's like
think it's
it
as
is.
good as
The,
it's
the
gonna get.
limitation is it's a visual novel.
Yes.
There's not a this is the best permutation of it, but it's still not perfect because you can't do it perfectly.
Your limbs unresponsive.
I pet you little head with my
Princess
claw.
stares down at your bruised chest.
Don't be sorry.
She
Queen.
apologized.
It was my
With
bad.
bullets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. You can't just
She's so
end
nice, her
like
little
this,
face.
right?
It was so much fun to draw the stuff for this segment of her just like covered in blood, clutching a stump to her chest.
Rich coming from you.
And you can see the damsel
Much
coming
as I
through
prefer
already.
For things to have gone differently,
I
can't
kind
deny
of,
the
as
reality
you
of what's
can
happened.
probably tell, like as she
You've
does
made
stuff,
your
like
choice.
the
It's over.
attributes start to come out in chapter 1.
Everything goes dark. And you die.
Goodbye. I think the one exception to that though is Tower. She doesn't really change much because Tower's just she is looming over you a lot though, so she could be 12
You're
feet
on
tall.
a
Who knows?
path in the woods. And at the end of that path
Yes, insert a lot of ugus,
and in the
etc.
basement of that
Anime
path
girl noises.
is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
It is a secret how many chapters there will be.
Yeah.
How do I
Y'all
get...
will be satisfied with the full length of the game, though. Just any of
Don't
these
start
will.
grandstanding about morals. The fate of the world is at risk right now, and the life of a mere princess shouldn't stop you.
You
from
don't
saving us all.
understand. She's got big, beautiful eyes.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Yes, he didn't approve of us last time, did he? If we're going to save our
There he
beloved,
is.
we'll have to be sneaky about it.
Everybody's friend.
Our beloved.
I like how the hero
Yes,
reacts to
you'll
him
have
of
be
just like,
very
whoa, whoa,
sneaky
buddy.
about your
This is a
intentions if
bit
you're going
much.
to try and save the princess. Ah, so all of the cards are on the table. Then you should know
I love that
he and the
without us
princess are
asking
in
for it,
love.
he just like went right into
Before
a
this
Matt
was
Berry
avoided.
impression.
And all assassination attempts you
And everyone
find
is just
are
like, wow,
worse.
sounds like he's doing a very fun Matt Berry. It's like, that's exactly
That's what he
it
decided
is.
to do.
Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him specifically. It sounds like he's the sort who'd sacrifice the whole world for a peck on the cheek. What can I say? A world without love is a world that isn't worth saving.
Yeah, I want more Smitten dialogue.
Those are two
Even
very
though I've
different
heard
questions,
this-
but fine.
I think this is
some
my
of
favorite of the voices. It's just so much fun.
Let's say for a moment
Wait,
that this really
let him
is the
cut.
second time you've met me, or at least a version of me.
Wait,
If you're
let him
back
cut.
here, I'm assuming you died, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. You were the one who did us in, villain.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, X Tetanus X says, The Smitten saying the four of us is how I finally realized that the hero and the protagonist are not the same entity, and looking back at other hints there are, I think that's an amusing way to find out.
There were a lot of people who were confused by the four of us line. I'm glad folks pieced it together.
Yeah, I like the kind of trickle of lore
Well, not you
around
in a
the
literal
main
sense,
character.
but you did everything you could to
Like,
stop us
you have
from
to see
rescuing
your hand for the first time to realize
Yeah.
that the clicker is not just for funsies.
Oh, I wonder why. Maybe it's because the entire world was at stake.
There's a thing with this where
I beg to differ. I'm not going to
when
argue.
you're writing
I'm
something,
just going
you
to
never
assume
know.
that whoever is making the decisions here has the common sense to ignore your protestations.
Sorry for my knuckle cracking
No, you're
noises.
good.
Knuckle cracking
You never
ASMR.
know how, because like when you're writing a story with like a complicated mystery in it, you're writing it with the knowledge of everything that's going to happen. So it can be very hard to get a sense for like what details are people going to pick up on, what details are obvious, what details are actually really, really hard to piece together. I know that's probably like one of the biggest benefits of doing early access stuff for Scarlet Hollow. We never change anything about the story to move around what the community wants or thinks. But sometimes we'll see people get really confused about something that we thought would be like an obvious reveal, and then it becomes like, oh, this wasn't obvious. How do we change it to make it better?
It's really great. I love having that kind of feedback. It's the kind of stuff that
Question was, what's the point of doing anything?
it's just so valuable
If you're
as
asking that, it sounds
creators.
to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario...
This game
that
forces
begs the
you into
question,
a constant state of confusion.
did time simply rewind itself? Or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after?
Yeah, I think
Or
probably.
do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would?
Yeah, World from Before,
She would never.
it was just
She's
like
a
this, except the
perfect
music was a
angel
little
of
happier.
youth,
So,
cruelly imprisoned as part of some
who needs it?
convoluted, dastardly scheme.
Thanks, Voice of
I
Despair,
love
for existing.
when narrator gets
I
offended
don't
about
know how this premise could be any more simple.
being
Princess
told
mad,
it's convoluted.
stop her, save him.
Where's the one? I want the special.
Just be quick about it.
I get to special. You know, this is a great question. The only reason she was even able to kill me last time was because I let her. She could barely hold a knife. How is she supposed to end the world?
She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but
Aw,
you'll just have
thank
to
you,
trust that
Spider.
what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been given to you.
Yeah, there's a lot of dialogue in this game.
Maybe it's her beauty that threatens
Tony
the
has
world.
to edit all of it.
Sure, it's her beauty. Why not? And before you ask, no, we can't just keep her down there.
Yeah,
We're
we're very excessive
To find a way out.
Yes.
It's unfortunate.
in how we
That's
do
just the way
things.
it is.
Like all of the background details, especially in Scarlet Hollow that I do.
We are, like, I feel like Abby and I both are very idiosyncratic about the way we think about certain things. And it works really great for working together on these projects.
Oh, here we go. Boop.
Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but
That's for
The
the prisoner. We can do that one next,
Yeah.
and then end the stream because I'm tired.
Oh, Tony's
I'm
tired.
having a great time, but also like recovering from PAX has been
We're special.
extremely difficult.
I love when he says we're special.
Of course you're special. Why else would you be here?
Yeah, it's a good joke.
Calling us special isn't going to make us friends, even if it did feel nice. Oh, believe me, the last thing I want is for you and I to be friends.
Also, is that
But I'm a professional.
evidence worthless? I mean, it's in your
Dislike you
handwriting.
getting in
Yeah.
the way of helping you
In your
save
terrible handwriting. That's all.
Right, now, if
I
you
just
don't
wanted
mind,
to have
the whole
you call me
world is
special.
waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
I go. I want to see my girlfriend
boy.
again.
Before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
We already told you we're not playing along with your little game. It's your lies that can't be trusted. Her beauty is the only thing in the world we can believe in.
I think we've already been over this. I'm pretty sure he just likes the sound of his own voice.
I do, but I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They must be expressed.
Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet. Don't pay their bickering any mind. Focus on the task ahead.
Okay. Oh no, smitten is to be enamored with.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
interior of the cabin is clean and elegant. Its stone walls
It's
draped
it's a classier way of saying voice of the simp.
A royal
Yes.
prisoner. The
Oops,
blade
sorry.
is your implement.
I have
You
heard
need
it
it
all
if you want
before,
to do this
Mr.
right.
Narrator. I go.
Wait, no, you missed the best part.
Oh.
We gotta.
Oh, I did miss the best part. You're so right.
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't.
I'm sure the princess
Also,
would tell
thank
us there
you,
was a mirror
Clarence,
if
for
she
saying
were up
that the
here.
background designs are good.
In which case she'd be lying to you because, again, there isn't a mirror.
I want to see how handsome I am.
That's a great idea. We have to make sure we're looking our best before we save her.
We shouldn't waste time preening. If he is lying about the mirror, it might be important.
Thank you, Blimfruit. It's a fun detail.
Yes.
I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would it even do?
Approach the mirror.
Approach.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But it was there a second ago.
And now it's gone. Pity. We could have a feather out of place, and now we'll never know. We can't gallantly sweep her off her feet if we have a feather out of place.
Very different.
Is it? I can't say I was paying much attention to the scenery last time around.
Feather? Bird?
Or perhaps, dinosaur. They're not birds with feathers.
Yes. Dinosaurs used to have
Aside
them.
from dinosaurs. Or is it just the two?
It's just them. They evolved
Avian
within-
alien?
Maybe
And
that's
then
because
there's
you haven't actually
stuff
been
like
here. I hope this means
pycnofibers
you'll
on
finally drop
pterosaurs.
that
So
ridiculous past
you know,
life
there's
nonsense.
something.
You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. So focus up. Stop letting yourself get distracted.
The MC is like a little blue jay.
it's actually
You take the blade from the table.
they're all 2
It
feet
will be
tall.
difficult to select the
Princess
princess
included.
and save
This
the
is
world
all in a
without
micro
weapon.
scale.
I suppose if we're to play the role of dashing knight, we need an equally dashing sword. That
Hopefully it doesn't put her on edge, and
I'm gonna skip
hopefully
the
it doesn't
dialogue.
get turned on us
How could you?
again.
You're
There's no
you're
use
fired
arguing over
from the
motivations
company.
right now. It's good that you took the blade. You
That's why the
needed
tower
to
is so
do
big.
your
She's
job.
just a normal sized
Sure
person.
is. You can have control, yeah.
I click.
You click.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed
There are some
carpet
aspects
glimmers in the
where I
light
did
of
wind up
torches
drawing things
positioned
multiple
along
times.
the walls.
That's what the fire is.
The basement almost
And
seems
the
welcoming in the
witch
dim
basement
firelight.
as well has some rudimentary
But it's still a
animations.
stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favour. A soft voice carries up the stairs.
You know, I've never grabbed the knife for damsel. Huh. I mean, we gotta get her arm out of there anyway, so might as well.
Hello? Is someone there?
Her voice, it's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I can hear wedding bells already.
I've held my tongue till now, but you're taking this a little too far. We barely even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this over-the-top fawning.
Yeah, gosh. We need to go on at least 2 dates
Yes,
before
for
we
everyone's
propose.
sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall.
My love, we're here to rescue you from unjust and foul imprisonment.
What happens at the sub goal? I don't know. It's just a little goal.
We like
I
having
like to have
goals.
little bars that fill up.
Who doesn't love a bar?
It's the goal.
Yeah.
When the sub goal
You know
is
she
hit,
can't hear.
that means that the sub goal has been hit.
Yeah, I'm ball math. I do find it funny how Hero is annoyed by Smitten, but he also was into her upon meeting her. But he was
Yeah.
like chill about it.
Right. Well, I mean,
Smith's
it's like
being all-
when you
She may not be
when you're
able to
into
read
something,
my
but then you
words,
meet someone who's
but
like
surely
way more into it than you, it makes you less into it. It's like
Well, your
embarrassing,
spirit's
right?
plenty loud, all right.
I'm
Yeah, we
so
love when
worried
number go
about
up.
You. You remember me, right?
Hello.
So little.
Hello.
Wow, I've gotten
Dance
no
hall.
achievements on this Steam account. Unreal. Alright, prisoner?
Yeah, I do want to do Tower though.
Okay, yeah. I can keep going.
Yeah.
The main thing was I've been like making a mental note that I had to do an Indie Sunday post on,
did you just do
on
that?
Reddit. Because well, you
You're
can
so
do it
good
like
at
once a
multitasking.
month. It's only on Sundays, and it's like how you can post on one of the main game subreddits. And I was like, I need to focus on this. It's already 3, and I just remembered
In the
now.
basement of that cabin,
If folks want
is
to
a
give that
princess.
post more visibility, I'm just lingering in chat real quick. Huh? I'm just lingering in chat
Tony
real quick.
is a marketing genius. Thank you,
No.
Dexterous. I love the way the shading and line art changes for damsel close-up. Somebody on Tumblr asked, like, why is the damsel less detailed than other princesses? And it's like, she looks like that.
She looks like that.
She looks like
And there's
that.
reasons, and
There
I think
are
those
reasons.
reasons will be fun for people to discover as they play more of the
Absolutely.
game.
Aw,
Aw,
Spider.
thanks,
Every part of
Salem.
this game is
I
the
can't
best part
toot
of
my
this
own
game.
horn, but we have good data at this
you're
point.
here to slay her.
I've got a real sense of.
Yeah, the sense of pride and accomplishment. Number go up. She's in low poly mode. Goodbye, Scarab.
Oh, lovely.
Thanks for
Yeah,
being
enjoy the
here.
rest of your day.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna click again. Sweet. I've always wanted to offer
Every-
honor. Viva la revolution.
Every so often, we get like a comment that's like questioning an artistic
You make your
decision.
way up the short
Being
path
like,
to
wow,
the
the damsel sprites look worse than the other princess sprites. You should redo them, and it's like, or consider.
Has someone said that?
Yeah.
But also, I mean,
Yeah, but it's
It's
one
on
of those
purpose.
things where it's like, consider.
oh,
They are drawn that way for a reason.
Yes, regicide
Warning.
indeed.
before you
Kill
go
all
any further.
monarchs, etc. Except for if they're nice and sweet and
She will
cute.
lie. She will cheat. and she will do.
Who said that?
everything
Give me
without
their IP
notice.
address.
Oh,
Oh man, thank you for protecting me from so many comments, Tony, that I don't even know about.
Oh,
until
sorry,
you
I
mentioned them
even
on
said
streams.
that.
Oh no, I mean,
It's, like,
it's on purpose.
one of those things. It's like the why is the protagonist a furry Steam thread? I get that hands are hard to draw, and it's like
Ignore him.
perhaps you are not human for narrative reasons. Perhaps there is a narrative drive behind that choice.
Yes.
And it isn't just, well, we randomly decided.
Yeah, I randomly
We've
decided
got a
to draw
we've actually
worse.
got a dartboard right off screen that has like character designs, and we have another one for plot points. And whenever we have to come up with something new, we just throw something blindfolded at it.
Yeah, and they're just like, well, I guess we have to do this thing, even though it's like worse.
Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
Also, she's cute. The equivalent of being like, why are there no colors in your game? You should maybe fix that. I wonder if some people
That
think
also
the
means-
colors is like a budgeting thing.
Not so it's like
I
not
guess that's not
everything is
very
intentional,
wrong.
right?
Yeah.
There are some things that are not intentional. The exact size of this door, it's probably just intentional on a subconscious level if it
it's
is.
door size.
It's door size, right? But you know, there's a difference between
Revealing a
choices like artistic choices that clearly would bear major narrative significance, like why does a character look this way,
Yeah.
why does a character have this identity, and then there's ones that don't.
And like
Princess
Spider
really lives
Art
there.
should be
Slaying
where-
her is
where-
probably doing her.
Art should
But
be a part
Tony,
of the
why
story,
furry
just
if
a
not
pretty
horny?
visual.
You'll have to give us $20 later this year to find out for yourself.
Yes.
Her voice carries up the stairs.
Oh, if this is a Scarlet Hollow spoiler, feel free to ignore. What were some mysteries in Scarlet Hollow or Slay the Princess,
Who's
which you
there?
guys tweaked the mystery delivery of from early access feedback?
She
Like, how
sounds
could you tell
dangerous.
what needed to be
It's
tweaked
almost as if
versus
she's
the
the one in
information to be revealed? Oh,
But I could
gosh.
fool you.
Trying to
It's all
figure
just
out,
a game.
trying to remember specifically. The biggest one for me is, people had some incorrect reads on Stella's behavior in the first couple
You gave away
episodes.
the element of surprise. Good luck, hero.
I didn't quite get the unhealthy coping mechanism we were going for with her. So we definitely like made some tweaks over time to flesh that out more. I think the game's better for it. We even made a tweak to that recently where we patched a short scene into episode 1 to fluff things out more.
That had been a planned scene in episode 1, but we did not have the time to finish that. There is a scene in a car now at the end of episode 1 that was not there in the original, and definitely helps a lot. Again, it was planned in the first edition, if you will, but then we got too sleepy.
I feel like there were a couple things where it's like we tweaked
weren't
the
kidding
books
when
in
you said you were
episode
going to kill
2. But it's really hard to remember.
What? No way. Why would you even think that?
Talking about finding out, can you tell us if the character scope will stay within the characters we have right now, or is it going to expand? Can't answer that question. You'll be happy with what it winds up being.
Away, doesn't it?
The blade. Of course she doesn't want to talk. Who'd want to have a conversation at knife point? We should drop it. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. Killing someone...
I would love
isn't
if
very
the
becoming of us.
variable-based approach we have to Scarlet Hollow became a mainstay. I think it is an excruciatingly
Blade
difficult
topples
thing
out
to
with
do.
trembling
I
hands,
think it's something
drops
that,
to the floor with an unceremonious
ironically enough,
Thank you.
because of the specific
now I
type
can
of massive
just
scope it has,
talk.
only really works for tiny studios.
against your better judgment.
Where it's like Abby and I make all of our narrative decisions together, and we keep everything straight on our own. I feel like the more, the more writers that get added to a team, the harder it is to have the sort of unified vision necessary to add that much more
So here we
complexity.
are.
And then also,
Awkward
like, there's questions
sexual
about, like, voice
relationship.
acting and motion capture, too, like, with bigger titles, where in Scarlet Hollow, which has no voice acting, we can have, like, these wildly deviating relationships where it might even be the same line of dialogue, but we just show a different sprite, and it conveys a completely different meaning. And when you have voice acting, suddenly that's a lot more labor that you have to do. When you're doing mocapped performances or like rigged animated performances, that's a lot of extra labor that you have to do.
Being married means that you are actually fused at the hip. The little
We
VR
do share a
we-
brain.
Sorry, not VR. Our little avatar there, that's actually what we look
That's
like.
what we
in
look
real
like
life.
IRL.
Yeah.
That's not an avatar, that's a webcam.
Yeah, we share all of our blood and thoughts.
Don't jump to any weird conclusions.
Oh, I forgot to read it out
We're
loud.
two
A
people who have met each
relationship?
other.
Are you
By
coming on
definition,
to
we
me?
have a relationship.
I wonder whether one could make a workflow to make such a spider plot relationship system workable for bigger teams. I assume it's possible. But I don't know, it's difficult.
Spending all your time with someone does mean that you aren't the same person. We turn to each other and are like, do you want to get pizza? And it's like, I was just thinking that. No way. Let's see.
I think there's also a component with like
What's
the
your
way
She hesitates before
the
answering.
relationship stuff is handled here, where like specifically the invisibility of it, and by extension
For
the
example, everyone wants pizza.
Yeah.
Oh my god, congrats on both of you getting pizza last night.
But yeah, what's it called? The invisibility of the system, as well as the way.
We also got pizza yesterday.
I'm talking.
Well,
you
I'm
keep interrupting
talking.
me. I'm
Go
trying
on.
to answer a question.
Go on.
Anyways, the invisibility of the system, as well as the fact that, like, in Scarlet Hollow, the way the relationship system functions even changes over the course of the game. That's a hard thing to win key stakeholders over for. But we gotta be our own key stakeholders. We don't have to convince anyone who holds purse strings that it's a good idea.
We beat the system.
You can address me.
Oh yes,
as
and
your
please,
Royal
please, please learn
Her
from our
Majesty.
things or
Any honor
take
of it
inspiration
you
from
do,
them.
It's an honor, honestly.
Yeah,
For people
It
to.
means a lot.
Yeah.
Note the little detail.
Yeah, it means a lot, and I would love to just play more things like the things we make.
Because we can't play the things.
We can't make the things we make. I don't know. I did mushrooms that one time, and then got to play Slay the Princess fresh. That was cool.
Apparently, it was very scary. And Tony watched Skinamarink on mushrooms, so that's how you know it's really the truth.
They were equally scary.
Well, we've talked enough.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
Yeah, it was like we had scheduled a Skinamarink night and everything, and Tony was like, I think I
Everyone
will do
says, "Oh, that's a
mushrooms."
terrible idea." I had a great time. It transformed the way I view visual art in wonderful ways. I don't know. It was great.
Oh yeah, and making a to Fourth Wish, making a Renpai game it's pretty manageable. Like
It's pretty
I am
manageable.
terrible at
Abby
stuff.
can do Renpai now.
I am awful at computer in general. I never did the HTML on Neopets to learning how to code pipeline, so I missed out on that. But now I can put a game in Renpai and hand it off to Tony with minimal edits.
There's Renpai comes. It's like I 10 years ago took a few CS classes in high school, but I didn't have any coding experience other than that. And Renpai comes with a very thorough tutorial, and it comes with a very basic like starter game where you can look at the code for that starter game and get a general sense of here's how you do decisions, here's how you do other stuff. And then the actual just like Lemmasoft forums for it. Lemmasoft, I guess, is the organization that makes it. They're extremely helpful, and most of the time, if you want to do something, you can generally find a thread where somebody has asked how to do something similar, and you can piece it together.
Yeah, Google is actually a great teacher, as long as you avoid all the ads. Reddit is great for just search Reddit on your Google searches. Do we want the prisoner or do we want the nightmare?
No, prisoner, because we can do the evidence.
The
Have to
evidence.
be kidding me. You walk up to the chains
He's mad at
binding
us.
the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key.
And, yeah, Bugs, you're having to learn Unity. I don't think I could do
So
that.
I tried learning Unity for Slay the Princess, and then I gave it 2 days, and I was like, fuck this so much. This is so confusing. If the whole point of making a second game is, like, do something that doesn't take a lot of time and has a smaller scope than Scarlet Hollow, why am I learning a new engine instead of just, like, building it in the thing I'm intimately comfortable with?
Yeah, Renpai is kind of like writing sentences in
Yeah.
a way. Of just like, if this is true, then this line happens.
It works so well for visual novels, and honestly, something I see a lot
Wow,
is
that big,
other
sharp
devs
knife.
who
You could always cut me
decide
off.
to make their visual novels in Unity.
She speaks
There's like
with
some
complete
important
nonchalance.
reasons that you might want to do that. For
We were stuck
instance,
down here for long enough,
Renpai
should
ports
we be
terribly to
nonchalant about
consoles.
cutting our way
Like, we
out?
would have to
Anything
either
to
work with a
find what we
publisher or use our own money to hire someone to make ports, because you just need to move it into another engine to get it to work on, like, Switch or Xbox or PlayStation. But if you're ignoring that, like, Ren'Py comes with so many things baked in that make it, like, great for what it is. Like, it's very helpful for generating translation files. It comes with, like, the ability to quickly skip through text you've already seen. I always remove the rewinding functionality because it offends my game design sensibilities, but some people really like that, and it has it. It comes with functional saving and loading. It comes with, like, functional image scaling. We can change the size of this window, and it just changes the resolution of the images, so it works automatically. It has a dialogue history. It just has all of these things. It has self-voicing if you don't have voice acting, so folks who have, like, visual impairments or need something read to them can just do that out of the box. So it's like
we've had people like leave comments that are like
praising the accessibility options in our games, but really the only thing we did was take what was already in our engine and add a button on the menu that makes it clear there is an accessibility menu instead of just having it buried on a hidden keyboard shortcut. But I'm gonna say, oh yeah, so it's like I'll sometimes see, you know, other visual novel devs do their stuff in Unity, and then, like, a demo or a game comes out, and then people are, like, very, very mad that it doesn't come with all of these features they're used to, because Ren'Py is so good at providing those features.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams
Yeah, should we do a
shut.
little animation for this
You hear
part?
the click of
We
a
have the
lock
door
on
open
sliding
version.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should do that. That would be good.
Mhm.
I'm also very tired thinking about that.
Oh yay! I'm glad the dyslexic options have been helping out.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm super glad
You make your way
that
back
they
to the
help,
bottom of
but
the stairs.
the credit goes to good old Ren'Py Tom for adding an ability to swap out the text with a dyslexic friendly font, and to let people adjust the font size and the color and whatnot. Like,
Hi, Jessica. Tom from Ren'Py, new Tom from
Easier
MySpace,
for
just
who?
dropped.
that's what he goes by online. He's
Easier
Ren'Py
for
Tom.
everyone.
Thanks, Ren'Py Tom.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
Oh yay!
Yeah, I'm so glad to see that. I'm sorry for
The
folks
knife.
where
Pick it
changing
up
the
and
font
cut
size
me
or
out of
switching to
here.
the dyslexic font messes specifically with Scarlet Hollow's UI a little.
It's
This is
very-
another visual
oh, yeah.
novel thing I don't like. I really don't like, and you don't like this too, right? We're in agreement. You know what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
The buttons in the middle of the screen that cover all the art
Yes.
when you make choices.
I don't want to do that.
We really don't like that, because the point of it, to me, is like, show the art, make it an immersive visual experience. Like, we really wanted with Scarlet Hollow to make our dialogue menu somewhere unobtrusive. We figured we'll put it in the text box, which is already on the screen, but the way it gets sized is like this very, very finicky, like, heuristic I coded that estimates how many lines of text the sentence over the dialogue goes for, so we can, like, place the box accordingly. So if you change the font or you change the font size, it unfortunately messes with that a little.
Eyeball Mouth says, the amount of threads and forums I search for one specific solution to a single thing I need. If I don't find it, I need to either scrap or find something close or similar. Yeah, it's a lot of searching instead of making, but it's searching you only really have to do once for a given problem, so that is good. Like, there's only so much you're going to have to do for a given project. And eventually you just kind of get into a rhythm of being able to just use what you've learned, so that's good. Eventually. But first it is a lot of just like, how do this? And then having to get
You
more
won't
specific with
like
your
what
keywords.
happens if you do that.
I say as if I'm the primary coder. I am speaking for Tony here.
We're married. We are. We
are
know
one
how we look on
entity.
stream. We're a chimera. Also, I haven't
savor.
looked on this for a while. Deidre Selleck, thank you for the follow. Blimp Fruit, thank you for the follow. Sam of the Birds, thank you for the follow. Scarab Cherub, thank you for the follow. Blitz107, thank
Against
you
your
for the follow.
better judgment,
Kiona Micah, thank you for the follow. G Wise, thank you for the follow.
just above
Sumi the
yours.
Panda, thank you for the follow. Fourth Wish, thank you for the follow. Gabriel Zero, thank you for the follow. Eddie Van Deathproof, thank you for the follow. Demeter Deem, thank you for the follow. Just Sem, thank you for the Prime sub, and I think that's caught up.
Thank you all so much. She is our friend. I am cutting also.
Schwing, schwing.
Into her flesh.
It's immersive.
The blade is sharp, and we make quick work of it. Before long, you're
I
able
wonder
to
if that
crack
one
the bone.
for this
She
side,
pulls the
because
bleeding
there isn't
stub
a
of her
wound
arm
when we first
immediately.
place it there. We want to add one more, so it's like when he says you cut into her flesh.
Oh,
That's
there's an
so
actual
much of a
slice?
sound.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Oh, have a good lunch, Megadeth.
No. He's talking about the arm.
Oh, well,
His bones meet
have a
in
good
your
lunch,
eye.
everyone.
How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank
Well,
you.
she's just that
now
cool,
let's
I
get out of
guess.
here.
Should I make
that
a
should have
talk?
This is the issue with streaming. We see all these
No,
little
you won't
things
have
where we
any
want to
of
add
that.
more
The
little
stakes
details.
are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I just can't let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
Wow.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into
Thanks
her
for
back.
pushing me to
But the
actually do
princess
the knife
swiftly moves
animation
out of
right.
the way before you can
Yeah.
We looked
I
up
mean,
tutorials.
you were only stressed about it
Stop.
because,
Stop.
yeah, it was an initial crunch. We had a week to do it.
Yeah.
It was our like tournament of power.
And I think at that point I had never done, like, I had to do a lot more kind of like actual animation work, you know, very rudimentary, but that sort of thing for like episode 4 of Scarlet Hollow. So by the time we got to this, it was a lot less intimidating.
A very
You're
nice
doing your best to
thing
help me, aren't
with
you?
working
I can
on
see the
both of these
conflict in your
games at the
eyes.
same time is I feel like we're constantly learning lessons from both of them
I'll
that we
make
can
this
apply to the
quick.
other.
Yeah.
So it's like the same shader that we use in Slay the Princess we use in episode 4 to make a certain monster
She steps
look
forward,
more
pries the blade from your
alive. Trying to be very careful about spoilers.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
I think that like adds a lot
She's
to
nice.
the art there.
Wow,
And
that was
then
so
she
nice of
slits your
her.
throat with an almost clinical ease. Her face remains
she goes.
unchanged as
She
she
did.
watches you
Wait,
collapse
we're
to the
dead.
ground. Blood
We did.
flowing
She's very much not
from
dead.
This is the end.
She's about to go kill everyone.
I'm
You
afraid
can
it
tell
is.
from the
From
look
some of
in
the
her
pixels.
eyes. Yeah,
And
from-
you die.
that's old me
I
now.
hope
I
it
don't
was
know if we're
worth
allowed
it.
to use that one. It's too old. It'll make us seem
No, it's
ancient.
making a comeback.
Is it? Oh, that's good. Oh, because of AI. I could tell from
What?
some of the
Oh.
pixels.
Yeah, I was just gonna
You're
talk
on a
about
path
timing.
In the woods. And at the end of that path is a cabin.
What? But
And
this
in
just
the basement of
happened.
that cabin is a
Yeah, she loves
princess.
us. She's really nice. I bet she's gonna go be really
You're
nice to
here.
She's
everyone
gonna
else
be
in the
cool
world.
and stuff.
It's
If
gonna
you
be the
don't,
end of the world as we know it,
only
because she's
the
gonna
end
bring
of
on
the
an era
world.
of great peace.
Wow.
It's all about the
that's
wording.
Cool and metaphorical and stuff.
Okay. No.
Don't you start grand.
You like that
about
one, that's fun.
morals. The fate of the world is at risk right now, and the life of a mere princess shouldn't stop you from saving us all. Don't forget what he did to us the last time around. I wouldn't trust a word out
This
of
guy's
his
supposed to be like a
mouth.
cop.
There's got to be a way out of here. For
Cop
us and
voice.
For the princess. We just have to keep trying. I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you two, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from.
Voice of the pig.
I wasn't gonna read that one out loud. I was just gonna
What?
snicker.
Like the cops are gonna come for us?
What if they do?
We live in. They don't know where we live. They can't find us.
You hear that? That's them. Open up. British police.
No, it's the Mounties. They knock on
Oi.
the door with the horse
Oi!
hooves.
UK police here! It's me, one of the King's Guard! Hesitated because I forgot there was a king now.
There's a king now. It's terrible.
Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink.
Wink.
Did you just say wink out loud?
No, the evidence.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, right. Phew.
Yeah,
I got
click
it.
somewhere.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you. That's a Brit. That's exactly what
Or
cops
if
say.
Just
you
go
fancy
down the
certain
hole,
habits of
explore.
the party,
Okie dokie.
We've just met for the first time, you and I. Don't forget what he did to us the last time around. I wouldn't trust a word out of his mouth. There's got
For us and for the princess. We just have to keep trying.
No, it's
I'm
this one.
inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way.
It's specifically
Now I
because
can
the
hear
voice
you,
demands
right?
evidence.
It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep
I like when
secrets
the
from-
narrator is like, I am listening to you. I especially like it with,
And as far as trying
that's
to help
right,
her
little
goes,
voice. What if he
need I
does
remind
hear
how
you? It's
catastrophically
It's
dangerous
fun.
she is to the world at large. I told you about the stakes of this situation less than a minute ago. Those are two very different questions, but
Is it okay
fine.
if I click
I'll
through this?
indulge
I heard
you
it
if that's
so
what it
many
takes to get
times.
No, we're
Let's say
displaying
for
this
a
for
moment
people.
This really is the
I'm
second
displaying.
time.
Oh,
I-
goodbye,
I-
X tetanus
Yeah,
X.
you haven't suffered
I'm glad you
nearly
had a
as
good
much
time.
sanity damage here as I
If you're
have.
back here, I'm assuming you died, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me.
Yeah, we need the facts of this case, says the skeptic.
That's one way to put it, I guess. You really don't remember what happened last time, do you? You practically forced the princess to kill us. That doesn't sound like the sort of thing I'd do, which is honestly all the more reason for you to not buy into whatever self-delusions the three of you are crafting. But this is a thought experiment, so I suppose I'll continue to give you the benefit of the doubt. If I did practically force the princess to kill you, it was probably for a good reason. Did you try and free her? Did you say something really mean to me? Because if I really did what you said I did, you probably deserved it. I'm a professional, after all. Sure you are. Anyway, I believe your second question was, what's the point of doing anything?
Voice
If
of
you're
the
asking
fun.
that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions
I like
last
when he
time
says that,
around
'cause it sounds
didn't
like
have
Noel
any
Fielding.
consequences.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, Tony's not goth
What
enough
do you
to know
mean?
who Noel
Of
Fielding
course
is.
there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free
Were
to
you
me.
mean to me? Maybe you deserve to die.
Yes, but in this purely hypothetical
Common
scenario,
Tony L. Ain't
begs
that the
question
truth?
of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself? Or were you instead transported to a different
JK
world
Tony,
in
you've
time?
never had a L in your whole life.
If it's the latter, what do you think?
Well, I've had
happened
plenty of
after
L's.
that? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after?
But if those L's
Or
lead
do
to
you
a
think that the
W,
princess
then
left
you've only ever
unhindered, brought
W'd
back
if you
the
really
end?
Yeah, wow, you know, if you think about it, it's
There's
like,
two
if you have
L's.
two L's, you can
Yeah, fold them
you
out.
Fold them out.
it's a W.
Boom.
What a
Tony has made the
convenient,
symbol.
ambiguous group of things for her to
But you
live.
can't see.
You
'cause
can't see.
We're fused, so
It's
we're arms.
refused.
Yeah.
And never saw another soul.
They say romance. is
Thanks so
dead.
much for hanging
Thank
out,
you,
Fourth
Fourth
Wish.
Oh, how I
Have a
wish
good
that
night.
were the case. But if the princess weren't a certain inevitable threat to the world, the four of us wouldn't be here. And yet, here we are. You're talking in circles. No, I'm talking in facts.
Let's
Just
talk
think
about
about
this
it.
princess. Who locked her in the
People
basement?
Locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things. She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been given to you.
Wow.
You haven't given us an ounce of proof.
Here we
You
go.
do know
It's
that,
coming.
right? What proof could you possibly
wake
ask
back up.
for? Literally anything. Fine. Check your pockets.
Check your pockets. I do.
You put your hands in your pockets and pull out an envelope with the words "The Evidence" written across the front.
Wow, this is pretty,
This is compelling.
this is compelling to me.
Within, you find a note in your handwriting. It reads, "The princess will
So
end
funny.
the world if you don't stop her. This is an immutable truth."
Yeah, most people don't see this. But it's great.
We should add an achievement for it.
We should. Just
Oh, just the thought of doing that exhausts me, though.
detective work.
That doesn't prove anything. How do we know you didn't
I
just
love-
forge our handwriting?
So that was written before I had done the art for it, but it's fun considering that the art is absolute child's writing. Just, you forged my terrible handwriting.
I wish
Wow, this is
there are some
thoroughly
rules I
convincing.
have to
This is
follow
our
for all
handwriting.
things.
Yep.
Please just trust.
Yeah, right, that's what I figured. The main I also can't do, like,
Your side.
good handwriting. I can do very good comic handwriting, but, like, it does not look immersive.
Better
it's
than
not,
me.
cursive or anything like that. I'm not good at cursive. But I am great at chicken scratch. And imitating bad handwriting.
Exactly.
Much like the narrator,
So
if
you
you
not
forge
doing
that
what I tell
note.
you to do means you're putting the world at risk.
Yeah,
I
it
think we've
seems
got everything out of him we're gonna get.
pretty reasonable. Okay, that's all.
Right. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
I proceed to the cabin.
Woo!
I'm pretty convinced
warning.
now.
Before you go any further, she will lie, she will cheat.
Well, if the
she will
narrator
do
says it's in
everything
our
her power
handwriting.
to stop you
Yeah.
from slaying her. Yes, yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink. Did you just say wink out loud? No, I didn't.
Shout out to chat for making sure that we did not miss the evidence.
Just ignore this
Yeah,
clown.
thank you.
Focus
It
on-
changes my whole perspective on the situation.
God, there's so much content in this new demo.
Yeah, look at this. We ain't even got all the princesses.
I can't believe we're giving this away
The
for
interior of
free.
the cabin is less a cozy
I like when
woodland
people are like,
retreat,
how could this
more
possibly
like a dungeon.
have more to it?
A
And
few
it's like,
pathetic
oh,
wisps of starlight attempt
if
to
only you
illuminate
knew.
cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows.
I had fun with the
reminding
differences
anyone who
between this and the
enters that
damsel,
this
because
is
they're
a
very
prison.
similar.
Yeah.
But this clearly is more of a dungeon. The other feels more
The
like
only
a castle
furniture
tower.
about is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Okay.
You take the
I don't
blade
think
from
there's
the
anything
table.
in here necessarily, right?
It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Yeah, bad table.
Good idea. Much better to be armed than to go in with blind hope alone.
But she doesn't get nice things, because she's a prisoner. Alright. Well, I'll just go on in then.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely
Yeah, people
illuminate
love
the
the
path,
prisoner.
dancing across
For one thing, she
glimmer
looks
patches of
similar
slimy
to
moss
the
and
base
stone
princess.
steps.
So you get to hang
If
out
the
with base
princess
princess
lives
for
here,
some more,
slaying
except
her
she's
would
sadder
probably
this
be doing
time.
her a favor.
Yeah, right? There we go. A little wiggling.
Her
like
voice,
it's fun.
harsh but controlled.
This game is
carries
all
up
about the
the
wiggling.
stairs.
Background, lines, flickering light.
Is that a visitor?
It's
I
got
hear?
it all.
Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
Oh wait, Depression Princess? I get it now.
Does she remember us? You walk down the stairs and lock
What
eyes
to
with
point,
the
she
princess.
says. None of
looks
this
up at you,
matters.
the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall,
And people
joining
do
the
love a
metallic
good chain.
chorus as she adjusts her hands.
It's
in
so
her
much
lap.
fun to draw just like a big neck chain. Hefty.
So much for cutting her out of here. Do you hear yourself right now? Cutting
Yeah,
her
prisoner,
out
I
of here?
think.
Should-
Where's that straw pole right
Have you
now?
noticed the empty chain on the wall?
I think
Odd
she and
that in a
Tower
place
have
where
been
everything
vying
seems to
for
serve a
number
distinct
one with each other.
purpose, there would be something so obviously useless. That was their last
And the
time
Tower
too,
is
wasn't it?
barely ahead of her.
It was.
Pretty good spread, that is.
Pretty good spread.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
Alright, should we call it here? I'm quite tired.
You don't want to do the tower?
People can find the tower on
Alright.
their own.
You
This
should
is all
find the
people who
tower.
have played it already.
It's
anyways.
true.
No. Alright. This has been a lovely stream.
Yeah, thank you all so much for coming.
Thank you all so much for coming.
had
It's
so much
always
fun.
fun to do one of these. I'm gonna chill out. I'm
I think
gonna
Tony's
make Abby chill out.
as if I have art to do.
Yeah.
Always.
Um,
Yeah, thank you so much for
but yeah.
coming. It was so nice to have everyone on the stream. We had a great time.
Also, thank you, Annette
Sorry,
Carolyn
we
and the
talked so
Camelot for
much.
following. I don't know. Maybe we'll do one of these at some point in the distant future.
Yeah, I had a good amount of fun. It's nice now that it's just kind of something we can reward people with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And yeah, I'll do some kind of art stream at some point.
Eventually.
And then I'll be the one who's tired.
All right. See y'all.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Have a nice day.